you know where like the cleavage is, where like the boobs touch? Or supposed to touch?
No, I've never touched a woman.
Cat Everfrost used not gonna quite hit. There goes a 5-man shield there. Rack's going to get caught up in the baby cage. That's going to be a 3-man shockwave in the backline with a big face breaker. That's going to be a showstopper right there. That's
Can't get slowed when he was in Pike's D. That's too soon, that's too soon. Nice. Okay. Okay then. I'm gonna try to get you the penta honestly. You have one more? You can't die with him. It's gonna get dog.
You can go. I mean, I have flash in a second.
Oh my god!
Have any teleports on the side of CCW. They might try to go for a pick here. Fox Prime has to be careful. Doesn't know they're all there. This could be the pick they want, but you have to be careful as well, though. They're gonna burst him down. Fox Prime dies before anyone else can go in. They don't get the second call of the force guard, and here we go. Here comes the Vlad. Keep an eye on the Vlad. Vlad on the back line. There's a double knockout. Keep an eye on the Vlad. Vlad gets one of them. Vlad's able to get two of them unbound. He's gonna survive on the back end of it, but they're gonna be able to kill the Anivia. And there's two dead on the side of CCW. Can they get more? There's the Vlad. Can they get the knockup on Asthmatic Boy? Can he get the blast kill? No, he can't. He's gonna fall incredibly low. They're gonna keep going in. Team Shooter is gonna be able to get the root. They're gonna try to find more. They're gonna find everyone. But there's the kill. Unbound. He's doing it all. Unbound is doing it all. Give it out. Unbound. Unbound's killing them all. Unbound is winning this game.
Okay. You guys good?
They're definitely gonna get it, but I think we win this one, guys.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Get it!
Like, you know where like the cleavage is, where like the boobs touch? Or supposed to touch?
No, I've never touched a woman.
Cat Everfrost used not gonna quite hit. There goes a 5-man shield there. Rack's going to get caught up in the baby cage. That's going to be a 3-man shockwave.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How's it going? I had a bit of daylight saving shenanigans going on, so I'm up a little bit early, a little bit later. I don't know how it works, but here we are either way, and we're ready to kick off our Unstoppable series. And I'm joined here by two of the most wonderful, most beautiful, most affluent casters on the planet. We have Mousetrap and Slatty. Mouse, how you doing this morning? Afternoon?
I'm
evening,
doing quite all right. It's actually 4 in the afternoon for me, so not quite this morning for me, but I am doing good. I am really excited to hop back into some League of Legends action. I've not played in quite a few days. I've been watching Worlds, I'm sure like everyone else has, but I'm excited to see, you know, a little bit better quality League of Legends here today.
Slatty, how you feeling, man? What's up?
I'm feeling, of course, fan-freaking-tastic here today. I'm having a great time, and thanks for the compliment. Throwing it right back at you, Kristen. Very handsome individual, also on the analyst desk currently. I'm having a great day. I'm super excited for this matchup coming up. I know they say that every time, but I'm especially excited because I unfortunately could not make it last week. My throat was, you know, a little congested, coughing everywhere. Not really ideal for a casting environment. So I had to take the week break, and now I'm back and ready to commentate some exciting games here.
Okay, so exciting games. I bet you're asking, what exciting games? Who's playing? Well, crazy, I know, but I have the answer to your question. Today, we're going to be watching the Shiba squad playing against Stunned Gaming Mythos. Now, we are in week 4 of our 7-week split, which means we're at the halfway mark. Teams are starting to find their footing, and our leaderboard is starting to spread out. Teams are starting to find 3rd and 4th place, and it's not like 5 people tied for 2nd place. Shiba squad have now moved in with a 3-0 scoreline, meaning they have not managed to lose a single game. They have been a massive force here. Oh, sorry, no, it's the other way around. Sorry, Shiba's 2-1.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Not bad.
They've been both teams actually have been piling through. Either way, Shiba being on 2-1, they still have managed to win 2 games in a row, only dropping 1 facing up against Stunned Gaming, who haven't lost a single game yet. Not losing a single game yet this far in the series. I mean, going 4-0 at the midpoint of the week almost guarantees a really, really good standing for the rest of the week. And going into playoffs, it's going to be hard to drop down below that count. Now, I know one of you had their OPGGs drop down. We can learn a bit more about that, about their teams. And we were just talking to Slatty again. What's the new meta? What's popping? What's happening? We're on the Worlds patch. What are people locking in Worlds? Yeah, who had it up? And what are we looking at for some of these players bringing it in?
So I am the one with the OP.GGs, so I am just taking a look at some of them right now. It really does depend because I do not know who their starting roster is, but taking a look at what we got right now in the match right now, we are still waiting on a player or two, so the draft will be just running a few minutes behind. But looking at what they got right now, I am looking particularly to a few of the one tricks here. We have, I believe it's Yowie on the side of Shiba squad, I believe. He has been spamming out a heck of a lot of Twitch lately. And not gonna lie, boasting a pretty impressive win rate on him at around 68% in 73 games. So I think there's no possible way, just in what kind of position that Twitch is in the meta right now, I just don't see that making it through draft at all. Someone with almost a 70% win rate on any character, it's his most played. You just don't want to see that. So I do not believe that Yowie will be able to use the signature pick here. So that is definitely one of the bans I'm looking forward in the draft. And also you got to keep in mind those meta bans as well. I'm assuming that we're going to be seeing stuff like the Misfortune, like the Maokai, Aatrox, and maybe even the Hecarim, like trying not to make it through draft just to deny some of those picks. It is Worlds season, so I'm sure a lot of people are getting inspiration from other teams as well.
Well, on that note, okay, well, first of all, excited to see Twitch ADC, but it probably will be banned out if it is a priority pick, because they see that this person plays Twitch nonstop. So, but we still have a little bit of time. We're waiting for a player to hop in the lobby, get things started. I want to know, who are you guys backing for Worlds? Is there anyone in the plans that you're rooting for right now? Slatty?
Hey, here's the thing, right? Honestly, if I'm gonna be quite frank here, I'm an EG fan. I'm an EG diehard. I'm so devastated with everything else. Yes. But wait a minute.
Look, draft is coming. I don't have time to listen to your shenanigans. EG, what about you?
You know what? I am an NA fan. I do want EG to move on from the play.
Never mind. We're going to draft. Chiefs is playing against EG right now. I need to see this happen. So we're jumping to the draft right now. Welcome. Good luck. And I'll see you guys in just a second.
We'll see you later, Quicksand. So hopping into the draft right now, we do have first one, Mordekaiser is off the table. We'll see what the response is.
And yeah, classic Mordekaiser ban. One I want to throw about while we're waiting for the bans to come through realistically is that if you like look at the Worlds and people are like, okay, what's the Worlds meta going to affect the Ryzen esports Premade Unstoppable? You know, people always ask that question, but that doesn't really come into play too often, because the main thing you want to look for in these type of games is primarily comfort. Yep. But if there is an OP pick at Worlds, it needs to be easy to execute. And I don't know if every single champ is, but Misfortune certainly is, and that's probably why they banned her in this first ban phase.
Absolutely. Taking that Misfortune off the table. If we do follow a similar trend to what the play-ins have been doing so far, honestly, we should be seeing an Aatrox first pick because that has been like probably the most highly prioritized pick at the Plains so far. And as I predicted, the Twitch is gone. So definitely trying to ban out some of those priority picks on the bot lane. But a meta pick is picked up. Maokai in the top or jungle or even support. He is a triple flex pick. I'm excited for this. Maokai has been one of the most powerful picks I think in the past few patches. So definitely excited. And we'll see if Shiba Squad is able to actually execute on that. And we'll see where he's going.
Yep, Maokai. You know, you need an execution level that a tree does have in order to play Maokai. Not very hard champion to execute, which is what I was saying before, is that you need something that's good, but also something that you can actually play. As we see the Veigar thrown up from Sun Gaming Mythos, that late game hyper scaler.
Yeah, absolutely. But like back on the Maokai here for a second, like you press W, someone will get rooted. Once you press W, you hit Q, someone will be knocked back. And just so much vision is granted through his E as well. Now that the AB build has kind of fallen out of the meta, his E is primarily not really used for the slow or the poke or anything like that, mostly for that vision. So definitely more of a CC tank bot at this point on the Maokai. I'm excited to see how he's utilized in this game. The response to the Maokai, though, is a Viego Veigar. So already picking up that mid-jungle synergy here.
And the Viego Veigar starts with 2 Vs. Has the like E's and the I's in the middle of it, you know, but this is clearly screaming, hey, we want to play towards the late game 5v5 team fight. And there are 2 different responses to this. There's obviously the, we're going to scale with you, buddy, you won't be able to make it so easy. Or it's the play aggressive in the early game, which a Caitlyn Morgana certainly can.
Absolutely. Caitlyn Morgana, a very, very powerful bot lane. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but the Morgana is able to hit a Q. That means a guaranteed Yordle Spring Trap for the Caitlyn, which just means extra headshots and extra damage. So very, very potent in the bot lane. We will see what the response is here from Stunned Gaming Mythos, because they are going to have to come up with something in order to counteract that very strong bot lane.
Yep. And I would expect something like a Sivir to maybe counter. They save it a little bit for the rest of the ban phase. They have a Xerath locked in, which your initial thought is, oh, that's mid-weight. There's a Veigar, though.
Yeah, so
that's got to be a support support Xerath. I've seen this as a counter pick to Morgana. Say, like, you know, you may be able to root and, like, kill us in one shot, but if I just play at a certain range and poke you down, that all-in is a little bit less viable. So it's definitely somewhat of a counter, but you got to have, like, an 80 carry to pair it with to either A, poke with him better, or B, be able to self-sustain themselves so that they can deal with the Morgana bind, like with a dash or a spell shield.
Taking in all considerations here, there is always the possibility of Veigar going bot lane, throwing Xerath into the mid lane. Do I believe that is what is actually going to happen? No, just because of how aggressive this Shiba Squad bot lane is, I just really don't foresee Veigar being able to actually use that lady phase effectively. So you have to assume that the Veigar is going to go into the mid lane, and so they ban out a couple of picks that would be annoying for him into the Sandra, who's able to escape that cage insanely easy with her W because it's a blink and not a dash. And then Victor as well, just taking out another one of those high scaling mid laners, and we'll see what is going to be paired up with that Xerath in the bot lane in just a few moments, as Aatrox is the final ban here for the side of Shiba Squad.
Yeah, you definitely see Aatrox a lot in Worlds here. And like I was saying earlier, called it out just a little bit. Sivir locked in, spell shielding from Morgana, one of the best matchups for Sivir. And she's also able to scale and scale well. It fits into the identity of the team comp. We want to scale. We want to play late game. We're here to play to 30, 40 minutes here. Yeah. Not necessarily to win it in 20.
Absolutely. So a bit of an odd draft here, because you think about like the Viego who wants to like go in, get those resets. He does not want to be the front line, because if he is, he's likely the one to die first, and he's not going to be able to get those resets off. So I'm expected some kind of tank focused for Stunned Gaming Mythos in their last pick of the draft here. Of course, I could be wrong. They could just want Viego to be the main front line, and hopefully he should just get the resets on his own. But the rest of the team is more ranged, scaling kind of mentality. So a bit of an odd draft here, as oh, that might be Diana mid. Yeah, I think that's Diana mid and Maokai going into the jungle.
Very, very whack draft. I'll tell you that much. When they locked in the gangplank, it means the Maokai's jungle. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Maokai jungle is actually kind of a little bit hard to execute in terms of the clear because you have to place your saplings properly and kite them in. And sometimes the clear is very specific. You have to basically know Maokai in and out to be able to execute that clear. But the gangplank is pretty good, I think, overall on the team comp. With something like Morgana Bite or a Maokai point and click, you can easily follow up the barrel and get massive damage. But a Mundo to maybe try to negate as much damage that gangplank would otherwise do.
So, like I said, they did go for a tank in the top side just because, like I said, you do not want Viego to be your only melee, your source of frontline to protect these really squishy members in the Vanguard, in the Zerath, in the Sivir. So, definitely wanting to provide a bit more frontline so that Viego could get those resets off and not be the one tanking that Caitlyn and Gangplank damage. So, there is still the possibility of Maokai top, Diana jungle, and Gangplank mid. I have seen a lot of Gangplank mid in solo queue. I do not like it, but it is a thing that is possible. So, because as a juggler, Gangplank mid is like one of the worst things I've ever seen because there's absolutely no gank set up there. And so, sure, he is able to get priority if he does use his barrels correctly for roams, but Gangplank is not a roaming champion. So, like, I'm not a big fan of Gangplank mid, so I hope that is Gangplank in the top lane, throwing Diana into the mid. But you also have to kind of consider, how does that matchup go? It kind of feels like it might be a little bit easier for Veigar in that sense and not as much of a counter pick as I would have liked, because it is melee into ranged. And Diana does use a dash, which can be easily countered by that Veigar cage if placed correctly. So it really will be a skill matchup, I believe, in the mid lane between, I believe it's Tier AO, I think that's how you say his name, and Caxi. So definitely going to be looking to who can win out in that mid lane, because that is kind of where I'm seeing the main competition to be.
Yep. And, you know, throwing it back down to the bot lane, the Caitlyn Morgana, one of the classic combos that you've seen in pretty much every one of your solo queue games. This combo is really great. Also really great pairing with Lux is Caitlyn. But oftentimes, you know, Caitlyn Morgana can sometimes struggle with a Sivir because she can spell shield trap, she can spell shield the Qs and the binds. But one of the weaknesses of Sivir in this bot lane is she has 500 attack range when Caitlyn has 650. So if the Caitlyn Morgana stop focusing so much on trying to bind the Sivir down and trying to go for the all-in crazy, and they just focus on poking, I could see them winning the bot lane just by pushing, harassing other tower, not even landing these crucial abilities that you would usually see coming out of this bot lane. And so definitely, I think if executed right, I think Shiba Squad's comp is in a really good spot. They have something like a Gangplank, which is also very like high execution, but has a very simple identity. The Diana. If she goes in, she moonfalls, and Gangplank is a great barrel, that's a wombo combo. That's insane. They got a lot of access to CC, which complements the Gangplank really well. And so maybe the Gangplank might be mid. Gangplank mid is more of a 1v9 tactic that you see in solo queue, rather than like, hey, I want to play with the team, and I like League of Legends for the team play. You play mid all game, and then you just farm side lanes or whatever. But I can't make that call unless something like that actually happens.
We will see in due time. We are going to be hopping into the actual champion select in just a few moments. We're just making sure that all the players are indeed ready before we hop in. So while we continue to analyze this draft, there is something I do have to say. I really do like Shiba Squad's draft. If everything goes where I think it should go. Like I said, I think it's Maokai in the jungle. Diana in the mid lane is still fine. She will still have that amazing burst, that engage that the team really does need, but there's lots of follow-up engage here too. Morgana can stun everyone on the team if Diana can get a good ulta. Maokai with his ultimate will be following up, provide that extra roots for all that damage to kind of rain on top of the Gangplank ultimate. And if I look to the other side in Sun Mythos Gaming, it kind of looks like a solo queue draft, not gonna lie. It looks like as though there isn't a lot of engage. There isn't a lot of like pick potential or anything like that. So I'm not really sure what they are looking for. In this composition, they might just be looking more for comfort, which absolutely can be a very powerful tool in this skill level. But like Dr. Mundo doesn't have a lot of engage. He kind of just has to walk at you really fast, and Viego's stun is not a reliable form of CC. I'm assuming you hope to catch someone in a Veigar cage or a Zerath stun to try and follow up with the incredible amounts of damage that is on this team. Because don't get me wrong, they do have a lot of burst potential, but they just don't really have a lot of effective tools to really find those picks or even engage in the team fight when they really need it.
Yep. And I think because we know that 3 heads are better than 2, I'm going to probably throw it over to the analyst desk with Quicksand so we can get more of an in-depth back and forth conversation before we get into this actual game.
Okay, I was really keen on saying something here because I think what you're saying, Mousetrap, is it feels so right as well. Stunned Gaming feel like they have a really strong solo queue comp, and that's it. Like it feels like you walk in, everyone's just choosing what they like playing and seeing how it turns out. But once I was thinking like, okay, maybe they did draft it. Like, what were they looking for? And it feels like their composition is very centered around doing a little like a dance. They're staying away from the enemy team. They don't have any good engage besides, I don't know, Mundo throwing a cleave or Viego looking for a stun. A lot of their abilities are centered around staying away and blowing people up. Like, you get the Viego mist to hide your team. You get your Vigar cage. You pop it up. Xerath and Siva get to go crazy. Mundo gets slows. I think it's all about focusing people into groups and then kind of just wiping them out from there. While, on the other hand, Shiba, I'm so excited to see this gangplank, man. Their whole comp feels like they have 3 hard CC champions. Well, okay, Maokai, hard CC. Morgana has hard CC. And Diana's ult sucks everyone in. And then it's just Gangplank blowing them all up with the barrels. I mean, I think that's the most exciting pick for me, personally, is their Gangplank pick. I mean, Mouse, what do you feel about Shiba? Do you think it's going to be centered around Gangplank? Or are we going to see Caitlyn or maybe Diana more be the star of the show for this team comp?
So, a bit of insight here. It is Gangplank going mid lane, it looks like. Caxi has in that champion, so it's not what I was hoping for out of this composition. I was hoping for the Diana in the mid lane, but unfortunately that's not what you get. So absolutely, I think putting this Gangplank.
Wait, so is it the Maokai or the
Maokai top, it is Diana jungle, and then Gangplank mid. And then obviously Caitlyn Morgana in the bot lane. So it is looking like this comp is centered around that mid bot lane. Maokai will be on his own. He will show up for the team fights, provide the CC, but more than likely we will not see that Diana going up top at all. And I think you are 100% right. The majority of this attention will be feeding that Gangplank in the mid lane, feeding that Caitlyn in the bot lane, allowing their main damage dealers to actually fully scale up and just, with the CC provided by the Morgana and the Maokai, just absolutely annihilate the opposing team before they even have like an opportunity to react. But you do have to keep in mind, on the other side, they do have 2 people that can negate that CC in the Sivir spell shield and the Mundo passive. So, of course, there's a lot of CC on that side. They have to be sure that they landed on the right targets, though.
Okay. Now, I think this is where... Oh, unless, Slatty, you had something else to add about the draft?
No, nothing really. Mousetrap covered like the main points, but I would probably like to say that, you got it. You go off. But I think what Quicksand to point out really crucially was that they don't want to go into their comp. They want the Sun Gaming Mythos comp. They want the enemy to come into their comp, which is sort of the identity of Shiba Squad. They're both kind of playing towards each other's win cons. And I think another example of playing towards win cons is this mid lane matchup. You have a Gangplank versus a Veigar. That is a snooze fest until 40 minutes into the game. You're not going to see too much action coming from the mid lane. And it begs a question. Does Veigar win out on the late game? Or does Gangplank win out on the late game?
I think that really just determines on how many stacks Veigar gets, because Gangplank scales off items. He wants to get that gold. He wants to get the extra amount from his queue in the Silver Serpents in order to get those ult upgrades. And the extra gold from his queue, he scales primarily off of items. Veigar stacks off of his own personal stacking passive. So it really just depends on who can actually win out in that game, deny either gold or free stacks from the opponent. And really, I think that's just more of a skill matchup than anything else.
Okay. So skill matchup, blah, blah, blah. We got Siva coming as well, who can scale. So skill matchups, they do come in, but I think what matters as well is the overall scaling of the team. Right now, we do see Stun. They have that overall scaling too. They also have Xerath on the team, Viego. They are stronger more in that late game, while Siva and Veigar just scale like crazy. I think the biggest thing that I want to hear from both of you is, after seeing these team comps, we are now very in-depth with how they play. Slatty, which one do you think is taking it away? Which comp do you like better?
This is the age-old question we ask after every single draft, but I gotta give
was
the Shiba
right.
squad.
You weren't there for this, Slatty. I was right on both games last week.
So I'm the one who's cursing you. Is that what you're implying here?
That's exactly what I'm implying. So I'm gonna be wrong again today, but go ahead.
We'll be fine. I think Shiba squad honestly got the better comp. I think it's a lot more central comp identity than Stun Gaming Mythos, and I think Stun Gaming Mythos, like, their comp is like, play it to us, right? You got the Veigar, you got Sivir, but weirdly enough, like, some of their picks are not really that style. I mean, like, Viego's not really towards that style. Zera's not towards that style. Mundo is kind of, but, like, they have a comp identity, don't get me wrong, but that's because, like, 2 of their champs fit it, not necessarily because all the pieces of the puzzle fit. Whereas Capybara, Shiba squad, they got some good stuff going. They got the Diana, they got the Gangplank. I'm just excited to see this Gangplank throw barrels everywhere and one-shot everybody. That's what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, so you're saying Shiba. All right, Mousetrap, what about you?
All right. I hate taking the same side, but I will have to in this case because I just think Shiba has a way easier comp to execute. Like we already talked about, it feels like Stun Gaming has really just picked the solo queue comp. Everyone's on comfort picks, which, if I'm going to be completely honest, is a powerful tool. But they don't really fit into any real identity when you think about competitive play. They have okay team fighting, but like they have no real source of engage. They don't really have any good pick opportunities. So I just think that for the side of Shiba squad, I just think they have an easier comp to execute, which can play a very important role here. So that is what I'm throwing my lot into as well.
Okay, you know what? Normally, I choose the other side. If everyone's super biased, I'll choose the other one. But surprisingly, today, I actually really like Stun.
Really?
I think that Stun has... I hope my mic's still on the scene while we're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like our game is just about ready to jump in, but I'm going to say Stun. I like their dancing comp. I don't see it much in this kind of gameplay, so I'm excited to see this level of play a comp like that, and it's worked well for them so far. Not going to waste any more time. It looks like game is just about ready for us to prepare. So I think we'll jump to a quick breather. I'm going to swap it over. Oh, no, actually, we're going to go straight in. Hold on. Okay.
I'm ready to
Currently
go.
just getting ready. Okay. Look at that. Now, syncing up, and it looks like it is time for us to jump into game right now. No breathers, no breaks, no nothing. Straight to the action. Slatty, Mousetrap, take it away.
Let's get into it, and we hop on
These worlds when we got Risen Esports. Let's go, Slatty.
Absolutely, we hopping on the Summoner's Rift here. I'm so hyped for this game. We got Caleb Morgana, we got Gangplank, we got Maokai, who you never see until like this patch randomly, and we even got a Sivir. You know, my love. I love Sivir. She's so fun. I think Sivir, honestly, like, is kind of the make or break of the comp, because whether or not she spell shields the right target at the right time could determine like whether she wins or loses. And it's fine in the top side. The ukulele is already thrown onto Diet. He's already under fire.
Ukulele is deadly. Wow, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, no, if I, like, honestly, if I got, like, a ukulele thrown at me, that would probably take, like 3/4 my HP, not, like, that little HP if I got a ukulele thrown at me. But,
okay,
you know.
so do we have to go through, like, all of the skins of Dr. Mundo and think, okay, if you look at, like, business Mundo, would the briefcase hurt more than a ukulele, or, like...
The briefcase would not hurt. It would probably hurt, like, mentally, because, like, of how much money is in that briefcase and I don't have it, but... Oh my god, Caxi on the flank! The Morgana root! Probably supposed to needs to use flash here. It was forced out. The Q, the lanes, the autos, the burn down gets him first blood in the mid lane at the start of the game, and a great support level 1 roam forcing out the TP from Veigar.
You always gotta pay attention to your surroundings. The game does not start when the minions show up. It starts when you spawn in. Well done for Kurito, making sure that they could get the first blood onto Caxi. Both flashes exchange, and
they don't have access to the trap. Probably forced the flash out here. The autos are burning his health down low. He pops a pot, able to get out of there, but trade, you know, arguably in favor of Stun.
Awkward Tofu is a bit on the low side here, but yes, absolutely. More damage onto both on the other side, and the main damage dealer is a bit more comfortable, so it can't be argued for either one, but still, I gotta finish my praise of Dorito. A very good level 1 roam. Well done to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well done. And it feeds into that idea that we need to feed this Gangplank. He is the 1v9 carry of the squad. So we need to put all our resources into him. And so using that level 1 roam, putting your bot lane a little bit back just to get your Gangplank so much ahead is, I think, a great call here.
Absolutely, and we actually do see a lot of trading at both ends of the rift right now. Tier AO actually has a bit more of a health lead onto Caxi despite the first blood.
Oh, but the root
but we
lands
see a
onto
root down
Sivir.
here.
Doesn't have the trap access, so she's not able to root them up here. Didn't have the range. Probably using. I saw a couple traps in the bush. Probably ran out of actual traps, using them in the bush to go for like cheese catch out plays. You need to save at least one for the Morgana root at all times. A little bit of misplay coming out from Yoi.
Absolutely, like what makes this pick so strong is the easy ability to just perma stack that CC onto your opponent and not give them really any opportunity to play the game. So you definitely want to keep that in mind, but it also looks like we have some shenanigans down here.
Something corny is getting up to some funny business here. Backed out by Stun Gaming. Senji staking his claim on the enemy jungler's jungle. You know, is able to take the spot lane scrub, and now you have to beg the question: his mid and his top got prio. Can he also double scuttle this Diana?
I think it would be pretty easy for him to commit to the double scuttle right now. It doesn't look like he wants to, because like I said, no one really wants to have too much of a hold over the top lane, because Mundo versus Maokai, that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who wins that. They are both just going to be tank / CC bots for their team. So I think Senji was maybe looking a bit more to see if he could get anything done on this bot side. Doesn't see it, so now he will get the recall off.
Yeah, and overall, despite the fact that Veigar did get killed early on in the game, he's able to take a 7 CS lead. Those stacks, he's getting some stacks going on in this Veigar, despite, you know, how like things have went. He's able to recover pretty well.
Yeah, like I said, what Quicksand was saying at the beginning, it's just a matter of comfort as well, right? You have to keep that in mind. Like, yeah, Stun Gaming has kind of a weird comp. It doesn't really seem to mesh together, but if it is what these players are most comfortable on, it is still an effective way to win lane, and ergo an effective way to win the game.
Oh, but the root does land on the Strangle root. With the Maokai, the slow, can he find the autos, the Q, the flash forward auto to finish off the kill? Just to clarify, I just noticed, is Strangle root like a Maokai ability name? Am I griefing?
Is it? Actually, I do not know. Let me
I think it might be. It would be kind of poetic that he's kind of getting
smashed. It's a Twisted Advance, Bramble Smash, Sapling Toss, and Nature's Grasp. So
dang it. Okay,
unfortunately, Strangle Root is not a name, unfortunately.
Okay, but that definitely does sound like a Maokai ability name.
It definitely does, but unfortunately, no. Dita does get the solo kill on top lane. Well done to him. Strangle Root does not take flash. Instead, opted in for the Ghost. That rundown potential with the Mundo passive is extremely terrifying, but unfortunately in situations like this, DT just has an inherent mobility advantage, does manage to get that flash, solo kill off. Well done to him.
Yeah, and overall the CS is kept pretty even. However, we still got 2 kills on the side of SC Shiba squad. I'll just call him Shiba squad because I'm not going to say SS every single time. It's actually optimal to do the just do like the full name instead of the abbreviation, or sort of full name. Okay. Oh, but we see Diete engaging once again, but Strangle Root wants to maybe clap back here. Does have actually the ult. Maokai does as well, and can use the Ghost to maybe run him down, but that's only if he really wins the 1v1.
Yeah, and you also have to keep in mind one inherent advantage that Maokai has in this lane over a Dr. Mundo. Mundo's main damage source comes from his Q. If you hide behind minions, you will be able to negate a lot of that damage coming in from Strangle Root's ukuleles, but I will stop as here we go in the mid lane.
Yeah, Senji looking to engage, forcing out the flash from Caxi. Could be crucial coming up into a potential dragon fight, but both teams seem like they don't want it. I say it once, I'll say it again, I say it pretty much every single time. The dragons have been losing their kind of like priority, their incentive to really go on them in these early fights. So most teams will actually, their first objective, despite it spawning 3 minutes later, will actually normally go for the Rift Herald. Spawns in 1 minute. I'd like to see how these teams kind of play up towards this objective coming into this mid game.
Dragons are still really important. You can't negate them completely, but because of how tanky they are in the early game, they are a bit of a bait for the enemy team, because you take so long, you are tanking so much damage in the early game with these dragons that if there is a counter from the enemy team, they will win it the majority of the time. So you really do have to be careful around these early objectives.
Yep. And we see spawning in the next 20 seconds here. DT has advantage over the lane, and Diana could look to maybe come in and finish off the job. The Maokai ultimate comes through, but will the damage be enough? It is. The burst too much for him to slowly heal back up. Caxi slowing down TROA, but there's action in the mid lane and in the top lane. They look to engage in the end. Almost gets the kill. Oh, one more tower shot is enough. Can he get the repossess? He will be able to get the root up. The Qs, he got to use the abilities. Can he make the 1v2 happen? The dream possible. The flash out to make it so that is an impossibility. And overall, a 1-for-1 in this top side. But the root comes down onto Xerath. The trap lands. Octofu is in a bad spot here, forced to exhaust out, but he's able to get out in time, and the ulti shots are pelting this Caitlyn here, and she's not able to escape in time. The flash over for Morgana to dodge the W. Such an action-packed game, but Stun Gaming, you know, sort of coming out on top there.
Yeah, 2-for-1 in Stun Gaming's favor in that exchange on opposite ends of the map, as Senji was able to get a 1v2 fight, was able to get the kill onto Dita, and then force the flash out of something corny, and then on the other side, Jin and Awkward Tofu able to get one kill and force the flash of Kurito as well. So yes, a huge win for the side of Stun Gaming. We'll see if they're able to maintain this advantage.
Yeah, we see Diego hitting up the Rift Herald T. And, you know, the classic question. We got a Rift Herald being taken. We got some action on the top side. Not going to probably amount to anything because it is Mundo versus Maokai. I can't believe I forgot Maokai's name. He's like he's one of
the most popular champion in League of Legends right now.
Like currently, and I forgot, you know, the meta-defining champion. But anyways, actually we see a fight coming out here. Cutting off Strangle sort of escape with those saplings, those seed plants. Strangle is about to get his ulti back up, so wants to look to engage here. The autos coming out. Oh, with the root down, but he gets the passive back up, so he's not actually rooted. He does have access to the ulti. He is landing these cleavers. The autos, can he find the kill? And he does, shoving a minion right in his face, able to get the kill and make it even in kills and even in the scoreline in this top side.
That is such a feels bad moment. When you die to the Mundo E, your body just flies several yards away. You just feel so useless, but that has definitely got to hurt for Dieter. Just Strangleroot gets that insanely powerful dueling ultimate back at the wrong time, and he's able to return the solo kill back towards the Maokai.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw it back to the mid lane. The CS gap is kind of huge here. 25 CS advantage. It's gonna be a little bit evened out by that minion wave. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it's 20. Yeah, it's 25. I'm not tripping actually. Let's go. So he's getting a lot of the CS advantage, and we see Senji walking up towards the mid lane. With the wave pushing, that begs the question: where does Viego want to spawn this Rift Herald?
Again, you definitely want to spawn it towards one of your main carries. There is no real point in giving it to Strangleroot, who will be tanky no matter what happens in the game. So I think right now throwing it to maybe Tyr in the mid lane might be the best idea, as he is definitely gaining a significant advantage despite giving up that first blood. That CS lead that he has gained over his opponent is staggering almost, especially with a weak early game pick like a Veigar.
Yeah, instead of deciding being behind at least to those initial kills, we're able to bring it back in terms of objectives and the gold now up a 600 gold, having a little bit of 600 gold lead, not a 600k gold lead. You know, I can't speak today. Lordy me, maybe that cold is still affecting me mentally. I don't know. You know, we'll see how it goes.
Mental boom from the cold. Yeah.
Mental boom from the cold. Tilted me. Oh my god. I can't believe these allergies, this congestion is just griefing my ability to speak. But, you know, back to the match. They're clearing out the vision on the top bot side, but Greedo waiting in the arms, looking for a root potentially here, but does not find it. The spell shield. And, you know, a core part of this matchup is Morgana able to spell shield the Xerath poke? And if she can't successfully do that, it's really hard for Xerath to really play the game. But we see a all-out brawl. The ulti already popped, and the Ghost from Strangleroot. Senji is on the backside of the fight, wants to look to stun him up. Diete forced to flash out, and that flash will, in fact, save his life here. Great response, but they do get the summoner out in the end. For a Ghost, though. Arguably not worth.
So Strangleroot's Ghost is on a much shorter cooldown. So you always have to keep that in mind. Like, losing a shorter ability cooldown is generally a lot better than losing out something like a flash. So definitely a curious thing from Senji, dropping it in the top lane. Like I said earlier, Strangleroot is not your main carry.
But he looks to make the 1v2 play happen. The gangplank cannon barrage to slow up these red members. But Diete is kiting them out. Senji is under fire here, under lockdown, gets the last
auto from the tower, able to take him out, make him 1-for-1. But as we're talking about that, the bot side is turning up all for Stunned Gaming. They find the clean kills for Jin and for Tofu.
So a 2v2, 2-for-0 in the bot lane. Well done for the Stunned Gaming, Awkward Tofu, and Jin. Well done as they're able to pick up those 2 kills. But like I said, throwing the Rift top is a very curious play for Senji. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like I said, Mudo is not going to be your main carry. Putting more gold into him does not make a lot of sense when you have a Sivir and a Veigar on your team that could benefit from those resources a lot more. So maybe a bit of a blunder for the side of Sun Gaming, but still getting a 3-for-1 trade at opposite ends of the map will be beneficial for them in the long run.
Now, the main argument to be made is that, like, generally, placing the Rift on your Mudo is not a great idea. But in that situation where Maokai was low, you could dive him. They didn't dive him successfully, but you can dive him. When you're in that situation, you got to question, Gangplank or Veigar and Sivir are your main carries, but a 2-0 Viego at least that time is also a pretty great carry. So just getting the most bang for your buck on that Rift Herald with those plates could be just a good idea. You don't know if you're going to find a better opportunity. Might as well put it top one.
Now, like I said, it's going to be just a matter of where you want to put your resources. If that is where you want to allocate them, then absolutely go right ahead for it. But still, I am not a big fan of that, but we'll see if it pays off for them in the long run.
As we see the dragon spawning in 2 minutes, the next herald's probably at the 16-minute mark, if I am doing my math correctly. I'm going to take
a little bit over 15, I think.
So,
yeah.
College on the calculus. Hopefully I can do basic math. But the root, a great dodge from Tiraoi, but he's not going to be able to dodge that barrel. The Morgana root forces out the flash, but can they follow up the damage necessary for the kill? And Tofu and Senji are on the backside to help out Tiraoi, but both teams back off. They don't want no smoke.
So 2 flashes coming up from Awkward Tofu and Tyr in the mid lane. So definitely a bit of a mini win here for the side of Shiba squad, but they're unable to get any gold out of it. But we'll see if that pays off for them later.
Yep, and the vision control doing a great job from Stun Gaming. You see a lot of the great teams use proper vision control. But if you notice on the bottom right of your screen, Shiba Squad's vision is mostly in their own jungle, allowing them to walk towards the objective, but they don't really have too much vision to actually see what the enemy team is doing. It's only really make sure that you're safe coming into your jungle, rather than you knowing where the enemy team is, which could come back to bite them when it does come to this dragon.
Absolutely, and we're gonna have to see, because right now full objective control has been on the side of Stunned Gaming. We'll see if they're able to maintain that, as they do have a 2,000 gold lead right now.
Yep,
with the kills and the objective advantages.
Yep, and we're looking at the power spikes. Caitlyn, forced to recall early, probably is going to be able to pick up that Gale Force. We have both, we have 2 mythics for Something Corny and Fiat on the top side. Everyone seems to be able to pick up their first item here, but except Xerath. Not probably going to come too much into play in that fight, but because the gold is sort of even, and it's not really like one member has massively more gold than the other, it's going to be a very skill-based fight here on this dragon.
Yep, we'll see if they are able to contest this. Like I said, it's been full objective control for the side of Stunned Gaming, and right now they are the ones in the river, and Shiba Squad is going to be the one that's going to have to rotate into no vision, so we'll see if they are able to even contest for this dragon here.
And I like this play. We didn't call it the Herald before, but we are calling it now. Now, a great Herald play puts a lot of pressure while the dragon spawns, but they don't really start the dragon as they place the Rift Herald, so they're not going to get too much value out of it.
Yeah, just maintaining that vision control is very, very important, of course, for any team. And right now, Shiba Squad is going into this completely blind. Like, they do not have any idea what they are walking into, so very scary moment for them. We'll see if they're even going to try and contest this. It looks like they want to.
Yep, and they landed the CC on Tiraoi. Can they land the trap necessary? He's not able to be ripped down too. Corning waiting for the perfect time to use that Moonfall, but is in a 1v3 scenario, so taking up a lot of damage, but they're able to eliminate one member here with the Xerath. They're able to get 2. Trades 1 back onto the Sivir. Strangle Root under fire, but he has the ulti available, but is in a 1v3. It's not going to be able to get any kills here, and it is a 2-for-2 on this dragon fight. But no team healthy enough to take the dragon.
That was so good from Something Corny, but none of his team were there to back him up. He got an ultimate on, I think, 3 or 4 of the enemy team, was able to take out so many of them, get them so low. but then no one was there to follow up. Very, very sad. They are able to even up those dragons at least, but it is a 2-for-2 all in all with as far as kills are concerned.
Yep. And they didn't get much value out of the Rift, and they didn't even get the Dragon in the end, only having that a 2-for-2 in the team fight. So, you know, still pretty contestable, still pretty even, despite being down 2K. There's definitely signs of life for both teams. But if we're talking about scaling, you know, Stun Gaming got a Veigar, got a Sivir, got a Viego, and even a Mundo scales pretty well. So you got to be a little bit scared if you can't close this game out as soon as you would like to.
Absolutely. Like, you really do have to take advantage of the early pressure that you have with someone like a Maokai who has all that CC at that point of the game. But here we go.
Oh, but Curdio in a bad spot. Senji, the repossession. Can he find any more? Does have access to the Q. So the Corny on the run. Able to dodge out of the flash Q coming out from Senji's Morgana. Unfortunately, can't play the champion better than the enemy character can. And he is unfortunately unable to find anything more. But something Corny on the hunt, on the pursuit. Does have the Q, does have the Moonfall, able to get some damage down. The Gangplank, the flash forward in order to secure that kill. But Jin is in a terrible spot here. Does have access to the flash though. Just walks out of this situation with Shangaroo on top of 2, but he's going to be soon on top of by 3. Tirayo sets a double stun, but Ace is able to find the kill. The blast code crucially popped. The Gangplank barrels kind of slow up some of the members, but Coxie doesn't have a way out, doesn't have the flash, and the shutdown goes over to Octofu.
That was brutal from something Corny. He saw his mid laner running towards the blast code 2 and was like, nope, see ya, just takes it for himself, and Coxie is left to die. That is such a sad moment there for the Shiba squad mid laner, but it is what it is. The jungler gets up, and Coxie takes the fall.
Sort of even-ish in these kills, not too much. You know, not even in the CS, and especially not even in this objective control. All 3 outer turrets taken by Stun Gaming, and not a single turret is taken by Shiba squad. This is how you slowly choke out your opponents in League of Legends. You get these towers, every single one of the outers, and then you're able to slowly push yourself into their jungle, into the sides of the map that they don't want you to be at, and you're able to make pits on the side lanes, forcing out CS. This is where it starts to get very rough for Shiba squad if they can't really amount something, can't get one of these towers, or can't claim one of these crucial objectives.
Absolutely, and you really gotta think on the side of Stun Gaming. Just comfort, baby. We shouldn't underestimate it anymore, as it is such a powerful tool at this level of play. As being able to execute your champion to the fullest potential is sometimes even stronger than just executing a comp. Like what we both analyzed was a superior comp coming out of Shiba squad. So definitely curious in that regard. We'll see if they're able to do anything here. But here we go in the mid lane.
Yoi in a very bad spot, gets caught out by the Xerath. Wait, not the Xerath. The Xerath didn't end up finishing off the kill, but Caitlyn does get taken out in the mid lane. Not in a great spot here. If your entire team's bot side, they can easily respond mid, and they're responding in commanding fashion, looking to take this tower here with the 3 members that they have access to. Another wave is pushing in, but Diana rotating is missing, so they are going to back up and walk towards the Baron. Mundo also walking there. Viego does have TP, so are they just going to force it out right here, right now?
I would assume they would. They have the damage for it with Jin and Awkward Tofu. Tofu, not really a support, obviously. The Xerath does dish out an incredible amount of damage, but Caxi might be caught here.
And they opt to go for a catch, and a catch they do obtain. They land the cleaver onto Kurito. Can they find any more in this team fight? And that will be a resounding yes. Can they find a third? The blast cone unfortunately makes so Diana can't get out. She doesn't have the flash just quite yet. So the Corny under a lot of fire, and that is not enough. The teammate assist cannot help him out, and they look towards the Baron. A great call here. If you think about it, you know, I want to keep talking about this more. They were on the Baron, but good recognition. They can't really take a Baron when there's something like a Gangplank here that can really blow them up if they're grouped up. Something with a Maokai ult and a Diana ult. It gets very difficult, so playing for catch there is actually a really smart strategy, in my opinion.
Yep, they swap up their strategy at the last moment. Well done to them as they start the Baron, make it look like something is happening, and then absolutely pick off the main carry in Caxi. Well done to them, but Tyr might be in trouble.
Yeah, the Gangplank, the Cannon Barrage doing a lot of damage. And Caitlyn with a headshot gets the shut down for himself, and they're able to claim one back a little bit here. But Strange Road is on the hunt has access to the passive, so he's not going to get rooted up as easily, but the squad is there to back Yowie out and get him out of the situation as the dragon spawns, and they are crucially a member down without TP.
Yeah, that's a bit of a cocky back for Tyr, just kind of doing it away from his tower, not really respecting the amount of CC that comes from Deity. But, of course, with such low health bars on the other side and the Baron buff, I just don't think they're going to contest this dragon. It doesn't look like they will, so it will be 2 Drakes to 1 in favor of Stun Gaming.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite getting that numbers advantage, they don't really want to look to fight here. And I don't know whether it's the right call or the wrong call. What do you think? Do you think they should have contested that, or do you think they should have just left it? You know, we can't win this fight.
I think they couldn't have won that fight. I don't think it mattered that Vigor wasn't there just because of how strong they are. With that Baron buff, it does augment your stats quite a bit. So just opting not to take a fight, they're not even on soul point yet, so I think just allowing your carries to collect a bit more CS and a bit more gold, I think is the better call here.
And Gangplank is probably going to go Collector third here. Hasn't sold the coal yet, interestingly. Has access to the base, but just has the coal kind of sitting in his inventory. Doesn't really provide too many stats. Of course, the way coal works is that you get an extra gold for every 1 CS you obtain, but at 100 CS that gets ended, you get an extra amount of gold, and then you can sell it for 180. So it's just basically an easy free gold generation item, and not selling it is sort of a misplay here.
Yeah, so I think he might just be waiting for an even better power spike before he actually opts into selling that call, but I don't know what exactly he is looking for. Like you said, I believe he is going for that Collector third. Just being able to execute his enemies a little bit sooner will help with that team fight potential, but just with the pressure mounting from this Baron push, it is very scary for the side of Shiba squad. They're going to have to change something drastic in order to win this game.
Yeah, and Mundo looks like he does not give a single heck here. He's just walking up this tower, not doing anything safe. Don't worry, we're good. Does not care about what this Coxie thinks when he's trying to get something going. Oh, but they disengaged Maokai. Oh, smart. But Yowie is in a cage, and all the projectiles are just hitting it, but the Moonfall to return to try to get a return kill, but not able to find it. The crucial kill coming out to save Tyr's life here, and Senji wants to look for some more here. The flash, the Q, the autos. He finds the ulti, but not on any members of the triple kill coming out from Jin, and it's looking like all she wrote, 1 member standing, and that is the support here. Not going to probably be able to do anything. They look to take this mid inhibitor, and they look to end this game here and come up a 1-0 in this series.
Will they have enough minions, though? They are running low on health. It might be something. We do have some members on the side of Shiba squad spawning. They have no minions. They might just have to grab this inhib and run away.
Yep, good call here. You know what? Because that's 1 Gangplank barrel away from you just insta losing the game. Like, it's not insta losing the game, insta losing the team fight rather.
Absolutely, and like they are very squishy right now.
And so they're just gonna opt to back out, but they're just kind of delaying the inevitable here. They are up 12,000 gold around that in this first game, so it's gonna be very hard for them to really mount a comeback here. But I hope they can show signs of life here. Their comp does, you know, have some scaling to it. I feel like if Gangplank can get access, if you can get Gangplank to his IE, the game is 100% winnable, but that is still pretty far away.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's opted into the IE with that serrated jerk that is in his inventory. So, like you said, not really opting in for that item yet. He just won't have that crit damage that he needs in order to carry these team fights. So, looking really rough, down 11k for the side of Shiba squad. We'll see if they are able to recover in any way, but still, they have not taken a single turret on the enemy squad. The only objective they've been able to grab is one of those dragons, so definitely not having as much impact over the early game as they needed to in order to beat this heavy scaling squad on the side of Stunned Gaming.
Yep, and both objectives, both the Dragon and the Baron, are spawning really soon, which presents the interesting question. Which objective do you go for first? Because obviously if you're the winning team, you ideally want to pick up both so you can further secure your lead. And if you are the losing team, you want to trade an objective for an objective. And here, you won't really get the, what's it called? The soul off of this next dragon. So you might just opt to push in some of these waves and grab the Baron, because the Baron is pretty much a secured game win. It forces the enemy team to respond. But you see the siege coming under lockdown here. it's going to be really hard for them to do anything but to engage the Desperado to try to win this game, and the team gets instantly deleted and blown up, and Jin wants to look for more, getting some more damage here, and they clean up 4 members, the last remaining member, the carry, the one who can maybe make it happen here, but probably won't in the end. Looking to maybe glance some barrels, but doesn't really have them anymore. Senji just zoning him off, and the Nexus is being autoed and taken down by STN, and Stunned Gaming find their first game.
So that is definitely a bit of a rough game here for the side of Shiba Squad, just not able to make the impact that they needed in the early game in order to counteract the scaling option that was on the side of Stunned Gaming. And like we said at the beginning, there was not a lot of engage for the side of Stunned Gaming, but they didn't really need it. It was the fact that Shiba Squad was the one diving in, trying to make these plays happen, and just with the range and the disengage that they had with the champions that they picked, they just executed the fights brilliantly, and that's what ended up being the main determining factor in this game.
So, we just witnessed what I mentioned earlier in that draft. It's that dancing composition, and it's less that we saw, Shiba Squad, they were engaging the fight. It's more they had to. The problem is their entire composition is based around getting CC down, is getting on top of the enemy team. Currently, just a quick update as well, in Worlds, Evil Geniuses to beat Chiefs, so I'm pretty sad. And right now,
baby.
One of the analysts is now doing a shoey to celebrate it. If you guys don't know what a shoey is, you get your shoe and you put a drink in it and you drink out of your shoe.
They're shoeing? Like, okay.
The shoeing right now live on
let's just
broadcast.
clarify.
Wait,
we should not be proud, okay? Here's the thing. We lost to Fnatic, bro. We lost to Fnatic. I can't believe. If we're the best NA team, how are we losing to Fnatic? Let's be
real. You
real.
guys aren't the best NA team. You're
Okay.
the third best.
We are. It was a fluke. The playoffs was a fluke. No. 100 Thieves didn't even win the playoffs. They got stopped by fucking.
You didn't even make it to the finals. What are you talking about?
All right. Well, back to the match here. Shiba Squad unfortunately did not take home the dub here. I'm getting a little heated over this EG drama. With this 100 Thieves fan in the building, but Stunned Gaming Mythos able to clutch it out and win the game. Showing why that they are the 3-0 team.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Now,
go ahead, Quicksand. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The dancing composition. They were forced to engage, and the disengage from Viger, from Mundo, even some soft CC here from Viego and Xerath is exactly what we're looking for. They are the primary disengaged champions, and it really just let everyone else wreak havoc. And Mouse, I want to ask you is, who do you think had the biggest impact in disengaging the fights and then turning it around?
I honestly think that one of the better players on this squad was that Sibber in STN Gen. I think he had an extraordinary performance for his team, going 7-0-9. If you're talking about specifically who was the best at that disengage, I think he did excellent at that. I think the peel from Strangleroot and Awkward Tofu was outstanding as well, just allowing Jin to get into these positions to dish out damage for his team and maintain that perfect KDA. But we do also have to mention the biggest damage dealer on the team, Strangleroot in Dr. Mundo, busting out 17k damage that game. It does make sense. He is into a Maokai in the top lane, but you could see in those team fights, he was just running over the enemy team. No one could stop him because Mundo goes where he pleases. So you got to give props to him too.
Tank dealing the most damage, I would normally say, oh my god, Omega Low, Tank steal most damage, but really this new season, Tank steal a lot of damage. It can be pretty ridiculous, especially since Mundo does have AoE sort of abilities with that kind of lightning that he spawns around himself and the Sunfire Cape, so he's able to actually output a lot of damage, despite not normally being known for that kind of playstyle.
Absolutely. I think he's been doing it. He did unfortunately fall a little bit in the beginning, especially dropping that solo kill to Aditya at the very beginning. But ever since that point, I think he played excellently. He was trading efficiently. He was making the most use out of his passive. Again, it's just a matter of what I was talking about in the beginning. Throwing Maokai into the top lane against the Dr. Mundo just didn't really make a lot of sense to me because Gangplank is someone who will never pop his passive, which is actually a huge thing because he'll never get the healing from picking up the canister, and he'll never really fall out of that oh, I dodged your CC, so I lived because Gangplank doesn't have any hard CC. So I think throwing the Gangplank into the top lane would have been the better idea, just because he's able to deal, especially with tanks, a lot easier with those barrel combos. So definitely a bit of an odd choice here. Like I said at the beginning, I was hoping it would have been Diana mid, Maokai jungle, and then Gangplank at the top lane. But unfortunately, this is the result that we got.
So I had a bit of a technical issue. So unfortunately, I missed some of the stuff you guys were saying. But yeah, it really does seem like a Gangplank, despite having the ability to scale, get stronger, didn't get a chance to pop off. While on the other hand, we had Shiba, who you said performed very strongly. We saw Viego get a bunch of kills, and it looks like Stunned are really showing why they're 3-0 and why their different style of team comp, I guess, catches people off guard, out of control, and it's working really well for them. Now, we do need to give our casters a moment to rest their throats, rest their minds, get into that mojo mantra mindset before we kick off our next game. So we are going to jump to a quick break, and we'll see you guys in just a moment for our next champ select.
But anyways, actually, we see a fight coming out.
Like, you know where like the cleavage is, where like the boobs touch? Or supposed to touch?
No, I've never touched a woman.
Cat Everfrost used not gonna quite hit. There goes a 5-man shield there. Rack's going to get caught up in the baby cage. That's gonna be a 3-man shockwave in the backline with a big face breaker. That's gonna be a showstopper right there. That's
Can't get slowed when he was in Pike Steve. I've taken. Nice. Okay then. I'm gonna try to get you the penta honestly. You never know. You can't die with this. It's gonna get dogged.
Can go. I mean, I have flashing. A second.
Oh my god!
have any teleports
Go for a
on the
pick
side of
one here.
CCW. They might try to go for a pick here. Fox Prime has to be careful. Doesn't know they're all there. This
in
could be the
Mega.
pick they
He's
want,
in Mini.
but you have to be careful as well, though. They're going to burst him down. Fox Prime dies before anyone else can go
Oh,
in.
he
They
missed the
don't get the
call
second
forward
call of
guy.
the force shot, and here we go. Here comes the Vlad. Keep an eye on the Vlad. Vlad on the back line. There's a double knockout. Keep an eye on the Vlad. Vlad gets one of them. Vlad's able to get two of them unbound. He's going to survive on the back end of it, but they're going to be able to kill the Anivia, and there's two dead on the side of
Still
CCW.
going.
Can they get more? There's the Vlad. Can they get the knockup on Asthmatic Boy? Can he get the blast kill? No, he can't. He's going to fall incredibly low. They're going to keep going in. Team Shooter.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. What's up? Still getting over my world's blues. Slatty and Mashup have been trying to console me for the last 3 minutes about how it's okay that OC isn't through worlds, and I don't feel any better, to be honest. So
I mean, most of our comfort was us just yelling about which one of our teams we like more. So I don't know if we actually did an effective job at actually, comforting you. But definitely, you have our sympathies, my man. But at least
Thanks,
you guys
guys.
had a good shot there.
And as
I think it's
coming from an NA fan, okay, I'm used to disappointment, so I completely
shut up, man. You make
I
it
completely get it.
I don't feel any better, man.
Oh man, that hurts.
I think I'm gonna have to take this into my own hands now. I'll see you guys at Worlds next year when I'm playing.
Okay. We got Quicksand. He's gonna be there himself. I like that. I really like that attitude. I'm looking forward to that.
So once I take things in my own hands to do well in Worlds, I mean, the meta might change a little bit next year, but let's say we're starting to train up now. We've got to rank up. We've got to get there. We were just talking about the meta mouse. And I think what's really interesting is we were taking a look at when I was watching the Chiefs games and stuff like that. They were looking at bans, at picks, what's really popular. And we discussed just before we started the stream what champions were particularly the most picked right now. And for the Chiefs side, the most picked champions actually were Aatrox, Maokai, Misfortune, the ones we covered earlier. I think if we take a look at the draft that was covered earlier, I mean, Stun Mythos Gaming brought nobody that's currently like a main pick in the meta, which is why I think so many of us doubted their draft at the start. And on the other hand, Shiba Squad brought that Maokai. They brought Gangplank, who's strong right now. I mean, what do you think, Mouse? I know you and me are keeping up with the meta a bit more. In which lane actually do you think feels the most dominant right now?
Which lane?
Yeah.
I am a jungler, so I'm a bit biased here. I am going to say that even though it's not a lane, jungle is the most overpowered role, but especially focusing on that bot side in particular. If we do have to talk about a specific lane, focusing on bot side, getting that dragon priority is so huge just because of the buffs that they provide. So I think focusing around that bot lane is the most effective. However, I'm really sorry, Quicksand, we have hopped into draft already. So we are going to head over there right now. We will see you in the break before we get started into game 2. But if we go over to the draft right now, we already have a few bans on the table here. We have Viego and Zerat. So already Shiba Squad, who is opting to stay on blue side, is getting rid of 2 of those picks that they just found incredibly annoying last time, and taking out their own Maokai as well. So getting those 3 champions off the table. On the other side, Stun Gaming keeping their bans completely regular, taking out the Renata, the Misfortune, and the Twitch. So opting in, again, focusing around that bot side.
Completely just changing up their bans from the first game, which is an interesting strategy. It certainly makes sure that you don't lose in the way that, or at least you don't lose in the exact way you did last game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's a good idea, especially if you're like, yeah, I don't know what to do necessarily. It's a good kind of like last resort panic button strategy that can sometimes be effective. But banning out the Maokai when you have first pick, despite Maokai being a very power pick in this game, maybe they want to not face a Maokai and look to pick something more aggressive and want a safe counter pick for later. That's the current thought process in my head as we see Jarvan locked in.
Yeah, especially if you are planning to pick the Trundle yourself. As someone who does play a lot of Trundle, you are just the anti-tank. So banning a tank to pick the anti-tank is a bit of a awkward decision here from Shiba Squad. But if we look on the other side, have the Syndra buffs come through? I actually do not know. I don't think so. I think they're coming up this week. So I think it is still regular Syndra. We do not have the newly improved one quite yet. So I got a bit excited there for a second, so I'm sorry about that. But on the other side, we have Jarvan 4 and Syndra picked up, and it will be responded. So instead, it looks like Shiba Squad will be taking the Veigar for themselves this time.
I don't really like that Veigar pick, if I'm going to be completely honest, because Veigar, one of his main weaknesses is lack of mobility. And who is the champion who punishes lack of mobility by far the most? It is that Jarvan 4 with that Cataclysm. So
Absolutely.
if Vhagar is not careful about his positioning, not really respecting the potential engage from Jarvan, it can be really rough for him to really get anything done. But another purple champion we got put on the table in the Kai'Sa. You know, interesting, but I have to know what it's paired with to really have a great idea, because it doesn't have too much synergy, at least right now, with the other two characters.
Absolutely. We have been seeing a lot of Kai'Sa at Worlds. It is still a very strong AD carry pick.
Oh my god, please.
Oh, the gauntlet has been thrown.
If you are a cool person, you will lock in the Draven.
And it is locked in. Draven.
The glorious
for ADC.
executioner.
Oh, apparently just the winning on Sivir was not enough. Jin has thrown down the gauntlet, and it is Draven picked up for ADC for the side of Stud Gaming. You're really excited. Why don't you talk about this Draven pick a little bit?
I'm gonna talk about it all day. I love seeing Draven all the time. He's super aggressive, super early game focused. He can pop off in team fights if he's able to get that early advantage. And it just makes bot lane such a more exciting lane to watch, and is a lot more dynamic than it usually would be. And I really like the pick, especially since Stud Gaming last game was like, we scale, we play for lane, boo-hoo. But now they're like, Jarvan, Draven, they want to go in, and they want to go in fast, and they want to end this game early and quick. I love the pick coming out. I think it's a great response to Kai'Sa, especially since Kai'Sa has only 525 range, so Draven's really usable in that. And I wonder what the support counter pick is. Maybe you want to pick your support first over Draven, but you know, if you really want to make sure that your opponents know that you're the Giga Chad of the bot lane, then you definitely lock in that Draven.
Yeah, so it looks like right now they're just focusing on top lane bans. Neither support has been picked, but it doesn't look like either team. Oh, no. So I need to stop caster cursing, because as soon as I start talking about something, it immediately happens. So Amumu is taken off the draft board for now, but a lot of top lane bans thrown out as Shen, Mordekaiser, Camille, and Amumu are our last four bans of the draft here.
Yep. We're a little bit hovering more of the late game scaling type. They want to keep it consistent, you know. I like this idea. Tank top, engage jungler, control mage mid, high damage AD carry. The classically legend team comp, and you know, it's a classic for a reason. It works a lot of the time, but Fiora.
But you blind a tank in top lane. Do you know who counters tanks, especially high CC ones? The Fiora is hovered, not quite picked yet. It can still be swapped, but I think Fiora would be an excellent pick here for the side of Shiba squad. Sorry.
Can they lock it in?
This will be an interesting game for sure.
I don't know what happened in the week I was sick, but this is the most exciting draft I've seen. Like out of all this league so far, it is so hype. You got Fiora against Ornn, not a skill-based matchup, but like Fiora does have the potential to really shut down Ornn. And Nautilus, Kai'Sa Nautilus.
Ooh.
Oh wait a minute.
Taric would be interesting. I think Taric is such an undervalued pick. There it is. The team fighting potential from that Taric ultimate is huge if executed correctly, especially with high burst into the Syndra and the Draven. Of course, with that burst, if they're able to kill you before the ult goes through, that sucks. But if that Taric ultimate is timed correctly and negates the burst coming from the Draven and the Syndra, that is such a game changer for the side of Shiba squad.
As a bot lane main, I talk about it so many times. Taric is actually secretly one of the most OP champions of the game by far. Just nobody likes playing him because he is not a female enchanter. There's just kind of the
he's so fabulous. Look at that hair.
I know he's so fabulous, but people can't appreciate his fabulousness. So oftentimes Taric is more of an unpopular pick, despite being a really fun playstyle to play, and also the fact that he's like really strong, I think. Now pairing with the Kai'Sa, a little bit of a interesting idea. You want more of that engage rather than that counter engage and dive if you're running something like Kai'Sa, but I think it's a great pick into the drive, and overall great way to round out Shiba squad's draft. But we see the Morgana locked in. I think it's okay. I don't know.
I did want to ask you this question. With the counter pick saved for Morgana, Draven Morgana against Kai'Sa Taric, which one do you favor in that matchup?
Oh, which one do I favor? That's a rough one. I think honestly I would favor the Morgana Draven lane in the early game, but overall the strength of each of the bot lane, I would favor the Kai'Sa and Taric. I think Draven, if Morgana can land the root, which as we know Taric and Kai'Sa are mobile carries, And especially since the Morgana is not really a melee champion, so Tart can't really get those hits of the passive to regenerate his and his Kai'Sa's health. So I think Draven Morgana could definitely win out in this early game, but it's a lot less of a conventional Draven lane where it's like, yes, we all in, we get Draven stacks, and more of like, we have to land the root first, and then we can really make stuff happen. But a very spicy draft on both sides. I'm super excited to see what's going on here, and having a great time with this. And
all right, and as we are getting into the actual game, we are going to throw this back over to the analyst desk so we can get Quicksand's opinion on this upcoming game.
Yo, what
Okay.
Hold on.
The chat is blowing up. I think we need to talk about this first. Quicksand, I think you know what I'm talking about.
I was actually invested in the draft here. I was like, okay, guys, I'm ready to get thrown back to...
You're going on Twitch.tv right now. Oh, my God.
I got completely blindsided here. It looks like ISG from the LLA, which is Brazil... No, it's from the Latin America. They're the Latin America team that's won their draft. That's won their competition, sorry. They're playing in playoffs. They're 0-2 overall. Have just locked in Teemo in their top lane, man. What?
Can we just look at their draft in general? First of all, they have a Teemo top, Lilia jungle, and then they got a Scion in the mid lane. What the hell is happening?
This is so good. And the Twitch chat is so funny. They're literally just spamming the troll emote with "problem you mad" and then KEKW bronze game. Like, this is awesome. You love to see it. I think it's just like psychological warfare at this point. But I would love to talk about the team for days on days on days. But unfortunately, fortunately, we're casting some great games here, and we're going to talk about the draft.
Unfortunately, man.
I don't think we're bad enough to pick Teemo in the top lane. So
who wouldn't want to cast Teemo? Let's see
here.
But
what if Teemo wins in the top lane?
What if Teemo? Okay, it's against RNG. Do you really think Teemo is going to beat RNG right now?
Yes.
Yes. I have full confidence. It's the mental game.
I have significantly less confidence than you guys.
We're going to talk about again. First things first. Look, my favorite thing ever happened where Shiba Squad actually went all like kind of the same color with the blue-purple aesthetic going on, so I feel like they auto-win. On the other hand, Stunned Gaming, look, they kind of got the reddish-purple thing, but it didn't really happen. I got to say, Syndra pick, you don't see that too often. It has been coming in a little bit more. As you said, Mouse, there is a buff coming up for her in the next patch, so I think that's spelling a lot of good things about her, but it hasn't arrived yet. Ornn in the top lane. Glad to see it. It's probably one of the other staple top lane picks that we'll be seeing a lot more often. But I think Shiba Squad has the most interesting draft. They are bringing a Veigar, which we saw last game, and they're also bringing a Fiora, a Taric. Two champs that we don't see that often, and it feels like they are now going to look for these split pushes. Fiora is possibly one of the best split pushing top laners in the entire game, and that's what she's going to be looking to do the whole game. Taric is going to keep Kai'Sa and Veigar alive just to shut down people. I mean, Trundle Pillar, slow people down. Veigar Cage, slow people down. Taric stun. There's a lot of good stuns, a lot of good distractions, pokes. Let Fiora clean up the map. I mean, overall, what were you thinking about at least stun side, Slutty?
Okay. Quicksand, I would have to absolutely disagree with every single point you said there, because I genuinely think that despite the fact that, you can argue Shiba Squad has the better draft, but, draft is one thing and in-game is another. The fact of the matter is, if you are playing Sivir, Xerath, and you're winning against Caitlyn Morgana, that means that you're just simply better. And if you're running a Draven,
look,
Morgana,
I didn't say that they were going to win. I just said I was explaining their composition. I do completely agree.
Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna slide out of view here. I'll let you guys discuss this.
Yeah. No, we're about to fight over this. I should completely disagree for that effect, but genuinely, I do think that they draft definitely a better. I think Shiba Squad consistently drafted a great comp game 1 and game 2. Overall impressions great, but Stunt Gaming has the spicier draft, and I think the spice is what we need in our lives, and I think the spice is actually going to work in their favor.
They just, in my opinion, I think Stunned is just use the same formula that worked for them in game 1. They have a tank up in the top side. They have jungle that has effective ganks. They have huge damage dealers in the mid and ADC role. So, and of course an enchanter support again, or a long range mage support, I should say. So a bit of a similar draft. It's not obviously it's not the exact same. There were a significantly longer range in the Xerath and the Sivir in the last game than a Draven Morgana, but still kind of the same mentality, which I think more and more teams should adapt. Finding a comp or a style of play that fits your team, especially at this level, just master that one tactic. I think you guys will be better off with that.
Man, look, look. We talk about tactics. We about team drafts. I'm checking on this Teemo. No updates. Actually, currently ISG is still getting.
I'm looking at the Teemo right now as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bring the status updates on the Teemo on the status of the Teemo as we're in game.
We need mid game Teemo updates. Like
now, I would assume
I'll chime in every now and then when things are calm with my active updates here on the game.
I will admit it's not looking great for Teemo right now, though.
Hey. I've seen bigger comebacks than this.
Okay, look, if this goes to a game 3, all right, if Shiba Squad wins this one, someone has to lock in Teemo. Someone has to lock in Teemo.
Teemo has to be in the first 3 picks. Like that has to. Like 100%.
Okay. On that note, it looks like we. Oh yeah.
No, you got it.
I was gonna say
we're talking about it again.
We have our draft laid out, ready. We have an inkling of how it'll go, but we're gonna have to wait just to find out exactly how it'll sprawl out. Will it be that split pushing composition, or being able to win with the Xerath Sivir bot lane on the side of stun? That skill that they have been displaying so far. We are gonna jump to a quick break just before we roll into our game, and we'll see you guys on the rift.
Like, you know where, like, the cleavage is? Where, like, the boobs touch? Or supposed to touch?
No, I've never touched a woman.
Cat Everfrost used not gonna quite hit. There goes a 5-man shield there. Rax going to get caught up in the baby cage. That's going to be a 3-man shockwave in the backline with a big face breaker. That's going to be a showstopper right there. That's
Can't get slowed when he was in Pike's Eve. I have to. Nice.
All right, welcome back to Game 2 between Stun Gaming and Shiba Squad. We have both of these teams ready to go after an amazing Game 1. We unfortunately did not go over predictions in our pre-game analysis, so I do have to throw it over. We did get a stun gaming win prediction from Quicksand, so I'm throwing it over to you, Slatty. Who do you think will be coming out in game 2 here?
If I had to say one, I would probably say Sun, personally, just because I think they're just the way they showed up in that first game that communicates to me that these guys are just better. At least in my opinion.
We did have a few level 1 shenanigans here as both the teams were struggling for that pixel brush there. Both get a ward down, but Caxi is chunked out. So we do get stun gaming prediction for you as well. I definitely don't want to leave Shiba Squad in the dark here, but I think I'm going to, just because I also agree. I think that the prowess that stun gaming exhibited in game 1, I think, and like I said, since they're playing a very similar composition, I think they will just perform better in game 2 as well. I don't foresee any changes here, but again, because Slatty is here, I was wrong in my first prediction. So I could be wrong this one as well, but we have some tri-brush shenanigans here as Yowie is caught.
The level 1!
The stun, but Jed is just smashing away at Yowie. But now he finds himself in the wrong way. Kurito has to run away. He gets rooted by Awkward Tofu. Kurito has to flash. And Jed has completely chunked out the bot lane of Yowie and Kurito. All he had to use was his cleanse in order to do so.
Welcome to the League of Draven. Coming out with that level 1 fight. The classic Draven Axis providing so much power. and also still has access to both their flashes on the bot side, so they could potentially look for a flash right here. It is so crucial to burn out these early summoners, and Kai'Sa getting away with her flash and heal is not bad. It could have gone a lot worse, but overall, really great start for the Draven, up 7 CS to 0.
Yeah, because yo, you can't even step up to the wave here with so low. Your support had to go back. That is just such a rough start for the Shiba squad bot lane here, but Shiba squad, my apologies, but that is so rough for them, and Jin is just able to abuse Yowie here in the spot lane.
And they're continuing to mount the pressure, and the turret, the minions are getting pushed in the turret, but on the opposite side of the map, it is kind of looking like the same with this Fiora having a lot of CS.
Here we go in the mid lane tier. AoE might be in a bad spot. The pillar goes through something. Cordy is smashing away with his club, and he's able to pick up the first blood in the mid lane.
Yo, that was well played overall. Waits out until the flash to pillar. Really smart play. That's something you see a little bit more experience from. You don't want to pop the pillar at the start of the fight. You want to use it to lock him down in the end, but...
Oh, Jin! Straight going at both ends of the Summoner's Rift. As Diete on the top side is a bit down.
We got a pause going on here, unfortunately.
Yeah, we do have an in-game pause, unfortunately. So it looks like the jungle for the side of Shiba squad did disconnect. So we will be right back with some League of Legends action. But unfortunately, we are facing a pause right now.
Okay, status update on Teemo. This is the perfect time. You know,
yes,
they are down.
On Teemo, please.
They are down 7k gold. You know, and it's not going so great. But Teemo does have a kill, and Twitch chat is spamming Captain Teemo on duty Giga Chat. And I think that kind of sums it up. And they got a. We talk about the Teemo top. There's also a Scion mid in this game, by the way. A Scion mid in this game, which is kind of insane. Wait, Jelly kind of looking for something here. Wait, I'm just starting to cast the game at this point. This other game that's happening.
We're just casting the other game now.
Yeah, no, but this is awesome game. Oh, we see Breathe engaging onto the and Teemo dies again. He's down 1-4. You know. Captain Teemo on duty, but unfortunately, you know, I
guess RNG, I just don't think Teemo is the play, boys. Not gonna lie.
Oh, they do get Gallus Flash though. That's kind of insane. Let's go. All right.
Looks like we are back into the game.
Yep. Yes.
1 second for me. I'm sorry. My game is still paused, unfortunately. So why don't you take over while we work out my technical issues here, Slidey?
I think we're having the same thing on the stream going around here, where it's just solidly paused. What's up? Okay, yeah, we just got back up on that spectator delay. Sorry for the pause there, but we want to make sure the games are kept with the integrity. We don't want to just say, hey, you're trying to disconnect. You lose the game.
Yeah, that would sucks to be you. But it looks like now we do have some action here in the bot lane. It's something Cordy is going after Jin. The flash forward to dodge the awkward Tofu stun, but Jin is flashing the other way. Won't be able to turn the kill back, but awkward Tofu might be in a bad situation as his ADC goes down and he is running away. Senji has rotated down. Might be able to help out his support here. But Awkward Tofu is going to be able to get stunned. And the Jarvan jumps in Senji. But unfortunately, Morgana goes down. Senji's all alone. He's into a 1v3. Will he be able to change a kill? No, he's not able to. But Kaxi now flashes over the wall. But Senji will be able to make his escape. And it looks like he will. As, oh my goodness, that was actually back with something. Cordy is still looking for that Senji. But finally, Senji gets to his turret. He is completely safe. Oh my goodness, that was a bit of action back and forth. I was not expecting the flash forward there from Jin.
I told you the pick was spicy, and Jin delivered in full the flash out of the target stun to get that kill crucially. The important part about Draven, like his identity as a champion, is he needs to get a kill before he dies or else he loses all the stacks, right? But the thing is that in those situations, you can't try to escape. You have to get those stacks before you die, and even if like you die and you also get a return kill somehow, you don't get the stacks proper. So you have to flash forward there and get the kill, and he finds the perfect time to do so. And so that's, even though despite them going down in a kill there, you know, it's 1-for-1 on the bot side, and they do have the advantage top side. I think it's worth here. Draven got a lot, but we see Sentry rotating up to maybe take out DF.
Yeah, unfortunately, Strangleroot not being able to find that knockup onto DJ, so he's basically able to just walk out no problem at all. Yoey now, oh no, looks like we have some action here at the top lane. Senji is struggling a bit, but he's able to hop the wall, just barely limping out of that one. Diete now going after Strangleroot, will be able to get that dash off, and Diete is not able to find the kill, so they are incredibly chucked out on the top side, but no kills going over to the side of Shiba.
And they're looking at the bot side too. It's such an action-filled game overall, which is exactly what you like to see, you know, when you're commentating the game.
I love these action-packed games. They usually need me to talk for several minutes at a time, but definitely enjoy the action here.
You know, we do love the Clown Fiesta here. But unfortunately, they're not able to get any kills on the top side despite it being very bloody. The EQ out from the Jarvan. They weren't able to E out, but we see a fight coming out on bot side.
Yeah, Jin is able to get a lot of damage onto Yoey, who's trying to walk away, but he does not have the flash. Unfortunately, there's the Q, but it just misses. Yoey's able to step out and walk away, and he is able to leave with his life. Awkward Tofu not able to live the last binding, so Jin is not able to pick up that kill.
Of course, he didn't have an axe to make it so that I'll deal just enough damage to claim another kill here. But, you know, that just gives Draven more time to stack. You know, he's not too bothered by it. But they get not too many summoner cooldown. They don't get the splash over there, so all they really get is a bit more damage, but we see engaged in the mid lane. TRAO
does not have a flash, and here comes Carino as well. He's only level 3, but all he needs is that stun. Something Corny will pick up the kill in the mid lane. And good thing, because Caxi was struggling a bit under his tower there, but TRAO stepping up a bit too far without that flash will get picked off for it.
And, you know, we talk about CSW a lot. You know, stuff happens. Oh, wait, we see it against topside, though.
Yeah, Diete is going up against Strangleroot, but that is a tanky Ord, unfortunately not being able to proc those vitals as much as he would like to in order to do that maxed out damage. So Strangleroot basically able to walk away without too much trouble.
Yeah, and crucially about that fight, though, is that with those...
Oh, but here we go. Here comes there's no W's, so he has to flash out. But Senji is there. That's not where you want to be. Diete will go down.
Now Strangleroot getting some plays, but crucially about the start of the fight with Fiora is that you don't proc the vital when you press the auto button. You proc the vital when your champion finally swings around that sword. And unfortunately, they weren't able to get behind Norn enough to follow through with that attack and get those vitals proc, to get those movement speed and that extra damage. But we see on the top side.
And there's another kill traded back. Tons of action here in the early game. And something Corny. 4-0-1, 100% kill participation on this Trundle. He is going to be one very scary Troll King come mid-game.
Yeah. But we see, brawl on the bot side.
Yeah, brawl on the bot side here. Jin is just whacking away at Carino. Unfortunately, there is no way out for the side of Shiba squad. And that is a double kill for Awkward Tofu. I think I might be a bit early on the stream here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to get recalibrated. Slidey, why don't you take over here?
Yeah, so really great team fight coming out here. Unfortunately, Draven didn't get the kills, you know, which always sucks in the Draven main. This is at the point, if you were Tyler 1, to start calling your support some names that I'm not allowed to say on stream, you know. But we see the Trundle maybe coming around the bot side here, and the Jarvan could potentially respond, but the root does not land. The pillar comes down, but nothing really comes of it in the end. And topside, the fight. Got it going on. Diete lands the Qs. The training one back. But we see a lot of trades coming out from the last side. A very bloody game. You thought game 1 was bloody? Game 2 is going to prove you wrong in that assertion here. And the Rift Herald is spawned, but neither team kind of looking to take it here, interestingly. And Taric is kind of trying to shove Jarvan off of this bot side. And if you'll notice, the TP is coming online for Fiora, so she could rotate over Ornn, who is going to have to wait a little bit longer. Just going to look for some trades, but she probably needs a backwards from parry in the back. The riposte, some of the damage coming out, but Ornn still looks like he wants to engage. But there is a fight on the bot side. There is Yoey looking to get out of there in that situation, but he's stuck in the pit in an awkward spot. Awkward Tofu with the stun. And Jin picks up a kill, able to get those stacks. And Eternal is in a very bad spot. Jin kicks up 2, gets the shutdown. And more gold onto the Draven is absolutely what you want if you are on the side of stun. And another root lands, but no access available for Jin, so he can't get as much damage as he would have hoped.
All right, I think I am back for now. I think I've finally caught up to the main stream, so I apologize for that, but I think we're all good now. If there's still let us know. But Tier AO will just absolutely delete Caxi in the mid lane. That is rough for that little Vanguard there. And it looks like I missed a lot of action, so I do apologize for that, as it looks like it looks like Stun Gaming has really taken over this game in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's just, you know, oh wait, something corny looking to
yeah, something corny now manages to put down the frozen domain. Strangle Root trying to get some AO or CC down, but unable to do so, and he will fall to the 2 tank killers in the top lane.
Tofu? Say this is my there's 2 people. I can't really mess with this.
Unfortunately, Smite does a lot more damage than Morgana W, so a bit unfortunate for the Morgana there. But if we look at this game right now, I do have to ask, what needs to happen for the side of Shiba squad in order to turn this game back around, do you think?
You know, hope that you read the information wrong, and it's actually a first to 3 series and not a first to 2. Because at this point in the game, there's not too many opportunities to come back, but I mean, you do have to kind of look at this Trundle, who is 4-1-2, to potentially make the plays here. If he can maybe run down a Draven, which Draven, no, when he doesn't have flash, he doesn't have any mobility tools besides that speed up from his W, which you can't, it's going to be hard for him to get too off in team fights if he's not able to catch those axes. So with something corny, he can actually take down those crucial members like the Draven if he so pleases, but it's going to be hard. But you have to rely on just one-shotting the Draven.
And something corny is here in top lane yet again. Strangle Root tried to find the out, and he's able to use the flash and the dash to make his escape. The pillar not being where it needs to be in order to secure that kill.
Horn
goes yeah, but here we go. We're not done in the top lane. Here comes Senji. Something corny might find himself in a bit of trouble. He drops out the frozen domain. Strangle Root is trying to walk away. He walks away with a sliver of health. Senji gets the Cataclysm down. Will be able to get something corny. And DT does not be able to flash out of the Cataclysm. And the E from German will get him down. And meanwhile in mid lane, both mid laners just so low, but neither one of them will die. And it looks like it will be a 2-0 for the Jarvan in the top lane.
Yeah, the Jarvan able to pick up 2 kills there, and flew a little bit close to the sun here. Something corny, swinging around that club like he could kill, but Ornn was getting the E back up. There was no way to really, because you didn't have great HP, you couldn't go into the tower. The Jarvan with a great response, ultis at the perfect time to keep them both in a situation where they can't even walk forward in auto, because if they do, they can rush down the tower. But Jin wants to look to engage on Yowie. He doesn't have the flash.
Yowie is in a bit of trouble, manages to ult under the tower. That might keep him safe for now, but Jin is now in between the 2 towers. Of course, he is way further out. He might just be able to walk up.
Jin, the ulti goes wide.
That's not where you want to be. And Yowie will get the solo shutdown onto the Draven in bot lane. Did not have the minions to keep him alive.
You know, that's one way to make the comeback. Draven just briefs the game onto tower, biting off more than he could chew. Wanted to look for the tower dive onto the Kai'Sa. The thing about with Draven and his burst combo is that you auto, you stand aside, and then you ulti. But so you can guarantee the ulti, because if you stand aside at the proper angle, they will be pushed at a certain angle where you can ult at that place. So it pretty much guarantees the one shot with that much burst damage, and he definitely had that if Kai'Sa was low. But the only problem is he didn't have the stand aside because he used an initial dive, and so his ulti went wide. He wasn't able to get the damage out before he was able to get taken down by the Kai'Sa, and also Kai'Sa smartly clearing the minion wave, not really looking to just sit there and keel over and die. So really well played over from Yowie, and a pretty big misplay from Jin.
Absolutely. He does still have 2 kills over his opposing ADC and a 20 CS advantage, so you do have to keep that in mind. He is still ahead as far as gold goes, but definitely giving over that shutdown to Kai'Sa is not what you want to see.
Absolutely. Draven go for the Essence Reaver build with the lethality there. It's still going to output a lot of damage. Oh my god!
Oh my goodness, the ult comes down, but that's not going to save you. Jin absolutely decimates Carino under his own tower. That has got to feel bad for the Shiba Squad support.
Yeah, and Draven up an entire 2 components over this Kaisa. It's gonna be really rough for them to, like, even play safe here. If you're under your tower and you're dying because you got hit by a Morgana root and a couple Draven autos, then I don't know where you're safe.
Oh my goodness, that is definitely a feel bad moment. You don't want to give these kills over to Jin, who's just going to be able to cleave your team with his axes. And it looks like they will even up the Drake count as well, as that Ocean Drake will be going over to the side of Stun Gaming. So not any early dragon stacking from either team yet again, just like last time. But now it looks like Tyr is trapped under the turret. He takes a couple turret shots, but at least his Morgana's there to save him. Corrido now is here as well, but not able to land out stun, so both teams are able to walk away.
Yep. And a little bit of action. Get them done. The rest of trying to top side. They want to put all this gold into the Fiora, into the slow push, into the frontal. They want to open up the side lane because they know that at a certain point in the game, Fiora just becomes so powerful that you can't really contest. But we see that they are trying to contest them.
Here comes the Ord Horde. He's not able to get the second stun off because of that pillar. But already, Diete is down, and something Cordy will soon follow. Senji is able to just barely walk away, but he gets the knock up once again. Strangleroot picks up the kill on something Cordy, as they just overstated top lane, and they paid dearly for it.
Overstate is the perfect word to describe that situation. And it looks like someone can't press their E key in time, but manages to get out.
But now it looks like they're outnumbered yet again, so Carino forced to flash away, gets the stun from Tyr. Caxi is down. The flash don't mean nothing when all of those Syndra orbs are charging at you at the speed of light. Down goes Caxi for the second time this game.
And the sniper of the squad lands the Q, lands the E at the perfect time, at the perfect angle to find that kill onto the Veigar, and then also uses that ultimate. You know, Syndra is really cool this form. I'm excited to see what they do in the rework, but oh, we see the TP coming bot side, and Yoi has to be on the run here. The TP with the ghost movement speed, but it's not able to get anywhere near.
Yeah, I am also really excited for that Syndra rework. You know, Syndra has run into that very common problem, very broken in pro play, almost like a troll pick in solo queue. So hoping this rework will solve that issue, and we can kind of then see her in both metas, because that's ultimately where you want to see a lot of these champions.
And they fortunately have to pop 2 scanners on that one wood because it did time out. Sorry about that.
That is rough when you have to pop 2 scanners.
Yeah, for that situation. Draven's so far ahead. Jarvan far ahead. It's going to be really hard to mount a comeback, but as I was saying earlier with the Fiora, the way you do in fact win these games is by putting Fiora on the side lane, because at a certain point, Orange just can't win. Fiora's going to win out in those situations, essentially looking to engage with top Cataclysm.
Oh, but here's the Cataclysm, and something Gorny is supposed to flash out, so a big flash there is taken from the side, but we're not quite done. The Taric ultimate is just not being timed properly. That burst is too much. Yoi goes down yet again. Senji goes in with a double knockup, and it looks like that will be their grave as well. Draven comes in, picks up the double kill. Oh, and in top lane, we are not done either. Strangleroot, his team might win, but he may not. Diete gets the last dash in, so at least a little bit of compensation for the side of the Shiba squad on the other side of the map.
Yep, and as I was saying, I think we've reached that point where Fiora wins, but Stun Gaming, walking into the jungle in commanding fashion, they know that they can win, but TRE under fire here can Cody find the kill.
Oh, but the ult goes through. I think that'll take out Tyr AO, but it will. But Senji now is in trouble, as that is a very scary troll. It looks like he does want to look for an opportunity to dash back in, but something Corny retreats to under his tower, and he is safe.
Stopping the Draven base. He says, "Those are my stats now. I will take them from you, and I will use it to beat your jungler up." Which jungler's able to get out, but overall, still Stun in commanding fashion. It's very hard to mount an argument for why Shiba squad can win this game, but I mean, obviously, you know, talked about every single game, every single time, in every single scenario, scaling is a factor, and I think Shiba squad scaling is pretty great. They got a great 4 and 1 top, 1 person's the Fiora split pushing, and their 4v4 team fight is actually really good as long as they can get to the item spikes. But you know, it's gonna be hard to get those item spikes when Draven is a full 2 items ahead of you.
Over 4,000 gold lead for Jin in this Draven against Yoi the Kaisa, so definitely your damage dealers are just outputting so much more damage for the side of Stun Gaming. It's going to be super difficult for Shiba Squad to really make an impact in these team fights. But with the dragon spawning soon on the bot side, we have to think that some sort of fight will be occurring soon. It's just a matter of who will come out on top.
I think the right play here, if you are Shiba Squad, is actually not really to try to take the dragon, but just kind of posture like you want it. Like, you know, hint at it a little bit, you know? We might want it, we might not. It kind of play that guessing game. Because if you do that, then it makes it Stun hesitate. Do we want to go for kills? Do we want to go for this dragon? Do we have to fight them to contest for the steal? And that buys time for the Fiora to get on this split push and take out this Ornn and also take out these towers. You gotta, the name of the game here is to stall, and certainly trying to contest drag but not really is definitely a way you can't stall.
Absolutely, and with the dragon spawn right now, you do see Stun Gaming has full control of the river, and it doesn't even look like Shiba Squad is in a position to take it, as Tarek is on the top side, Kaisen's stretching that mid wave, and Vhagar and Trundle are on the bot side. So absolutely, this dragon will go over to the side of Stun Gaming. They're going to gain a dragon advantage here. It is a Cloud Soul, so you always have to keep that in mind, see which champions can take benefit of that. But here we go. Looks like we have some fighting going on in the top side. It's a 4v2. Diente does get the Tarek ultimate in time, but that is not going to save his life. Awkward Tofu will pick up that second kill. And like I said, 4 heads are more than 2, so that is 2 kills going over to the side of Stun Gaming.
And the Fiora tries to queue over the wall to escape the situation, but, you know, ends up just hitting the Baron, and the Baron retaliates some full.
Yeah, the Baron does not like getting hit by swords, so it confirms that kill there for Awkward Tofu. And this Baron is getting completely drained, but Shiba Squad nowhere near a position to even contest it. Awkward Tofu does find herself trapped in the Vhagar cage, but the stopwatch will keep her alive. The Baron is taken, and now Shiba Squad just has to run away.
Yeah, they're working on the hunt, so they want to end the game as soon as possible to flash forward. Went for Morgana. Doesn't land the root. Doesn't need the root. Forces the flash out of Vhagar. And if you are Stun Gaming, you want this game to end within the next 5 minutes. That Baron timer, crucial in trying to win. They got a power play going. Can they look to make it happen? They do. This mid lane is probably the most exposed, so they pop the teleport mid. They want to put all their numbers in to try to make something happen. But unfortunately, if they can't really get it all the way in with these push, like get an inhibitor, maybe get a Nexus turret, if you can't get too much value off this Baron, then this Fiora is going to pick up those objective bounties so easily.
Yeah, absolutely. The split pushing potential from the Fiora is very, very high, because you have to wonder, like, who's even going to contest? The one you can put up against her is the Ornn, but theoretically, Fiora should win that 1v1 against that Ornn, so definitely don't have a lot of responses to the split push. With the Baron buff, they will be able to force Fiora off these objectives for now, but yes, applying that pressure with the buff is crucial for the side of Stun Gaming. But here we go, there's a stun, something corny. Is able to flash out of the Catechism. Senji and Tyr are just unload their ultimates on him, but is not able to pick up those kills.
Yeah, and the only problem with having the Fed bundle is that it doesn't do too much late game. You know, he does have that single target damage, so the more people in the fight, the harder it gets to really apply too much value.
All right, here we go. We have a 1v1 in the bottom side, but there is no CC on Jinta, so a little bit of a corny teleport away as Strangleroot will be able to make his escape.
It's completely around with Fiora, and Fiora, because she was so distracted with Ornn, wasn't able to push in the wave too much. So even though Stun is committing all their members on the top side, Fiora is nowhere to be found. She is not able to get too much out of it, even if Stun Gaming get this tower.
Yeah, but will Shiba be able to defend? That's the whole question. They only have a cannon minion right now. Baron buff is still up. It will be up for another 45 seconds or so, I believe. So able to hopefully at least push down and maybe even grab this inhibitor, as Fiora is still pushing down that bottom wave.
When the second wave comes in, it's going to spell doom probably for this tower. Actually, off the Predator wants to maybe look for a pick here, doesn't find a mistake.
Goodness, that is just an unbelievable burst, and Senji wants the more as he dives in, catches 2 in the Cataclysm. Senji might go down. No, he will not. But the entirety of Shiba Squad will be going down, as that is 4 kills picked up for the side of Stun Gaming. They might just be looking to end this game right now.
The timers are pretty small, pretty long though, so it might be a little bit hard to end right here if Fiora can maybe clear the wave, but it is Baron empowered minions, so they probably will be able to end it anyways.
25 minutes in, it's 22 to 9. Diente has to run away. He cannot defend this. Greedo is back alive, but what can he do against the might that is Draven in his own mountain? He will go down, but unfortunately he does sacrifice his life for the flashy play, as finally they are able to put a stop to that Draven threat. Awkward Tofu trying to run away, will have to try and spell shield, will pop the stopwatch, but that stopwatch don't mean nothing. He will go down, so a couple of kills picked up for the side of Shiba squad. They do defend their base for now.
Yep, and despite the fact that, you know, they were in such a commanding fashion, they were already in their Nexus base, the problem is now it's a 5v3 scenario. Because your Draven is down and so is your Morgana, you're one of your main carries being down, that's going to spell pretty bad, so they want to force out this fight here, but can they find the fight? But Sintra might have the one-shot potential.
Yeah, Kaxi pops the stopwatch, but here comes Senji. The ultimate from Tyr will take out the Vanguard, who is 0-5 now. Yoey might be able to pick up a kill on the Senji. The smite keeps him alive just a bit longer, but not long enough. The dragon is spawned, the jungler is down. Strangleroot finds himself in the middle of 3. He is a tanky boy, but will that tankiness last through the ult of a Trundle? No, it will not. The double kill picked up from Yoey.
And if it proves to stall out this objective, but Draven wants to look in for the 1v3 godlike play, flashes down and out of everything.
Oh, but Jin, he's bursted down, but he is able to pick up at least 1 kill before he goes down himself. Corrado and Yoey now on the bot side. It is a 2v2, but Tyr is too low and does not want to contest this. So the dragon is evened up at 2 apiece, but the base is almost in shambles, and the Shiba squad do have to retreat.
Yeah, but they get the dragon, which is kind of what they were there for.
Oh, and it might be a solo kill here for Awkward Tofu. He does able to pick up the kill onto the support. He is forced to flash away. Does have that black shield. Is rooted. Yoey, Tyr, AO may not find a kill here. The teleport coming in from Pieta. Awkward Tofu has nowhere to go. He does get the root. And Tyr AO will pick up that kill. He is on a rampage, but will sacrifice his life. That is a 2 for 2. It's traded for both teams.
Yeah, 2 for 2 overall. But honestly, trading 2 kills for 2 is pretty good if you're Shiba squad. But the Morgana kind of routed them for a little bit. No, that was funny to see, at least.
Yeah, well played there for the side of Awkward Tofu, just kind of running circles around his opponents. Very, very fancy feat. Strangleroot is being forced to run away, as that is a level 60 Fiora. Ornn, you do not win this fight, and that does not look good. He has none of his teammates around him. Diente is going to be able to get a lot of damage onto Strangleroot. He does not look very tanky. To me, the flash don't mean nothing. Diente picks up the solo kill.
And Aaron spawning in 5 seconds. Can they look to contest? I mean, Ornn is down without a TP, so it does mean you're in a 5v4, but is that 5v4 even you're going to win? And at this point, with so many minions pushing your base, it's going to be extremely hard to try to contest this or fight this. And Stun Gaming are actually the ones to start it up.
They only need 2 members for this Baron. What are you talking about? Something Cordy might spot them now with that Scryer's Orb. He is hopping in. We would be able to try and contest this. The TP is coming in from Sidra. Oh, but Jin finds himself in the Vanguard cage and absolutely deleted. Senji dives in, but he has to pop the stopwatch in order to stay alive. Vanguard now finds himself in a not ideal situation, but Yoey will almost go down, but Tyr does not find the kill. That is 3 kills on the side of Shiba squad. They are turning this game around. The double kill from Yoey. They are picking the Baron. They want to turn this game on its heels here.
And they tell me to shut the hell up. They are wanting to take this in a best of a first to 2 kind of fashion. They don't need a first to 3 to win this. They want to take the game right here. And this time with the Ornhorn.
Oh, but the Ornhorn is there, but it is not able. That would have been a very cheeky steal. They have closed the gold lead to 4,000 gold. And you mentioned yourself, with the scaling options of a Fiora, of a Veigar, of a Kai'Sa, they might be able to turn this game around.
Let's go, Shiba squad! I love to see the underdog story come out in full force. But the only issue is with having a Baron when you're behind, is that all it really does is stall the game out for 5 minutes. And normally that would be, okay. But, you know, we gotta talk about the S word, you know, scaling. If you stall for another 5 minutes, Kai'Sa's already on a 3rd item, which is great. Fiora's on even more items, and they've already hit pretty much their power spikes that they need. But Veigar, his final power spike, probably Rabadon's, is where you really want to really start peaking as Veigar. But
it does look like he is building towards that Zhonya's right now, looking for a bit more survivability, as he's not the main damage right now. But you can see Diente is so threatening on this Fiora with Baron buff. She is pushing into the face. No one's there to contest her. Finally, Strangleroot notices and he is going to back. But with this Baron, they're able to take some of these objectives. This is huge. Awkward Tofu is forced to walk away. Something corny going to go in on Tiraoia is pushed away, but Strangleroot now finds himself in the middle of the entirety of the enemy team. Oh, and there's an inhibitor taken by Diente. He is just forcing these objectives down. He's pushing into the base.
Maybe in the game.
Diente now trapped in the Cataclysm. He doesn't have a lot of mana, but Senji just does not do any damage to this Fiora. What is happening to this game? Strangleroot goes down. That's a solo kill for Diente, but unfortunately, Jin is able to take out the split-pushing Fiora. But that's 2 for 1 for Shiba Squad.
Oh my god, they could look to end it right here and right now. Joey is pretty low in this situation. But, you know, Jin, the main man carry, with a bunch of low health targets, they opt to back out. They don't want to fight here. Crucially there, the Fiora with the split push, forcing Jin back, and that's when something corny and his squad pull the trigger. They know that Jin has to respond. He's the one member that could really kill that Fiora in the one, and he has to respond. So they engage at the perfect time, which caused them back to only 1k gold down, and they have the command over this objective.
They absolutely have turned this game around. They're within 1,000 gold of their opponents. What were they? I think they were down like almost 10k at one point. What the hell is happening to this game? They are going to put themselves on sole point. Just absolute falling apart for the side of Stud Gaming.
Yes, I've seen bigger comebacks than this, and they have certainly proved me right. They brought this game right back to a pretty much even gold lead, and no neutral objective in sight. So probably we're going to see some farming for a bit because STN can't go in, and we know that when both teams are farming, the Shiba squad is winning.
Oh my goodness, we will not see another objective fight for another 3 minutes, as that is when the Baron will spawn. But oh my goodness, Diente, level 18, 3 levels up over his counterpart. This split push has been coming up clutch. He's almost Flame Horizon his lane partner, almost 100 CS up here. That is just huge. This Fiora has come in clutch for the side of Shiba Squad, taking these objectives, getting those bounties, and getting this gold back to even.
And we are continuing to praise this Fiora, and I would like to add on another little tidbit. This Fiora is playing very smart on the split push. Because there's no neutral objective up, there's really no incentive to split push with side, putting on more pressure. But because Fiora's playing smart, she's like, if they're not mid, I'm going to back off. You saw there on the bot side a little bit. She backed off when she recognized that the enemy team could be bot side. So she's playing very smart with her split push. You can see her backing out when the enemy team rotates, and that's able to apply safe pressure, which is what you need in terms of these late game interactions.
Absolutely, Fiora, or Diente, I should say, is playing this phenomenally well. And again, this was mentioned, I believe, at the pregame. Who can respond to this Fiora? Like, there's no one that can actually kill her effectively and respond to her in the side lane. Warren can't do it. Tyr would just get absolutely annihilated. Jin should get absolutely annihilated. Like, no one can really respond to this. They have to send multiple members to stop this push here from Diente. That just opens up other avenues for the side of Shiba Squad. They have turned this game around. Oh my goodness, I cannot predict where this is going. Baron is spawning soon in a minute and a half. I am looking forward to this fight coming up.
Yeah, I hope we're gonna get an action-packed fight and not a blowout. And Jin wants to go for those autos very aggressively. You saw him aggressive in the early game, aggressive potentially in late game, but Diente is just taking this tower.
Senji, and you just dive in to save a tower that's not there, and she just might absolutely pop his. Oh no, he's able to get away, and Diente stepped a bit too far. The burst coming through is there, but what is the trade? Rotating 5 to the bot lane, they're going to be able to pick up that inhibitor in the mid lane, and they're able to walk away, just losing one of their members.
Absolutely. They lose one of their members, able to pick up an inhibitor, but what I want to crucially point out here for Shiba Squad, what is the correct button, you may ask here? And I have the correct solution for you. What you have to do is, because you have your mid and your top pushing with super minions, what you have to do, despite being a member down, you need to threaten and end with Fiora, but your Fiora's not up, but she does have the TP. So, you have to stay on the Baron, bide your time, wait for the enemy team to approach you, back off, play the Baron dance for as long as it needs for this Fiora to get back up, and then once those minions eventually start pushing into the base, you TP the Fiora, they force at least 2 members back, and then you can easily take the Baron.
Paul Breaker Fiora is a scary opponent for sure. I think at this point, easily able to 1v2 anyone on the enemy team if played properly. You can see she was absolutely burning Senji down, unable to actually pop that Guardian Angel, unfortunately. But now it looks like that Stun Gaming is rotating over to the Baron, looking for another pick that won them the last game, but it doesn't look like they are falling for it this time around. As you can see that ward on the Baron, they know it's not started.
Yep, and they're just biding their time. I like what Shiba Squad is doing here. They don't want to go for the force. They don't want to go for the crazy. They just want to keep it simple. We're just going to stay as a squad, and we're going to make sure we don't get picked off. And that is the safe way to win this game, and I like what they're doing here. And now they look up to go to the Baron. They reclaim the vision, and Fiora is in the perfect spot on a wave by herself and no one to contest. And all Shiba Squad need to do is just chill and let this Fiora and buy time for her.
Yeah, with that inhibitor still down in the mid lane, they know they have the wave advantage there. Looks like Stun Gaming is going to start up this Baron. Does Shiba Squad even know what's going down? It's going to be going down so fast.
Yeah, they got the Draven with those passive autos, but Fiora's on the split push. If they can't finish the Baron now and get off these recalls, it's going to spell trouble for them.
The Baron is picked up here by the side of Stun Gaming, but the fight is a 4v5 as Fiora is already destroyed by the turrets. The TP is going through for Syndra. She's going to try and respond to this Fiora, but here we go. In the actual fight here, it looks like it's coming up clutch here. Yowie has to pop the stopwatch in order to stay alive, but Jin is absolutely decimating everyone on the enemy team. Senji has gone back to try and save his turret, and it looks like he will be able to do it. Caxi is the only one to walk away from this fight. That split push does not work this time around, and Baron is picked up for the side of Stun Gaming.
That vital was actually vital there. No pun intended. That vital was so crucial for him to win the fight, and for him to not find it is so bad. But the kill coming out from Veigar.
Awkward Tofu, what are you doing?
Wait, the TP mid, they want to look right here right now.
Oh, but okay, yep, here we go. They are marching down the mid lane. What are they going to be able to end? It's only Caxi on the defense here. They have one turret left to defend. They don't have the minions though. It looks like they're actually gonna spawn, so they're not gonna quite end it here. They are gonna be able to grab it in him, but this game is now at 37 minutes. They're gonna even up the Drake count. Oh my goodness, this has been an action-packed game so far.
Yep, and it's very arguable. Hey, you know, they're down 6k gold now. It's a very bad situation for Shiba Squad if they're gonna get pushed into the Baron lane. But what I would like to say though is that they got both TPs from that situation. You know, Orange TP wasn't too great. Tier Aoi's was good in order to defend the base against Fiora. But when you don't have TPs and you have to send all your members to squad together to take some of these objectives, it is very scary to not have TPs back into a base which is pretty much exposed.
Absolutely. Like, you can see both of these bases are exposed now. Each have one turret. But think, who takes turrets even faster? Like, Fiora with Hullbreaker or Draven with his axes. Like, it's either one of these teams can just march into the enemy base and take it if the other is not careful.
Yeah, and the thing about the Draven though is that he has already spiked. He is not going to get any stronger as the game goes on. So at this point, you are looking to end right now if you are Jin. You can't stall this game up for longer because then Kai'Sa will eventually get to a point where she'll be outputting more damage to you than you, and with more, maybe not output more damage, but definitely can provide as much value as you can, but you got such a big early lead and you're not able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, fortunately Caxi's still at level 16 as opposed to tiers 18. Oh, this is going to come down to one crucial fight, and I feel like we're getting it now. Dite dives in. He does immune the spell, and the Veigar cage will protect him, so he's able to walk out unscathed. Senji is walking over from the mid lane, it looks like. No, instead he opts to push in that mid wave a little bit further. With the Baron push, they are looking to end this game. They are clearing out the minions here in the bot lane, and Yowie is able to move over and take out that mid lane Baron pushed up wave as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very rough. You don't have any wards in their base, and they have all the way pushed out, so Hero can't really make the Miracle Hero play into the 1v9 backdoor nexus that you normally would see from these players. Essentially, out of there, a little bit of fire here is able to get out of there unscathed.
Alright, so no more Baron for the side of Stun Gaming. They do not have that pushing power that they had a few minutes ago, so it looks like they are going to opt into running away and perhaps just kind of going into the ARAM method, maybe. Just trying to pick a lane, all five, go ahead, try to push this in and end the game.
Yep. They want to end it. But the Baron, unfortunately, does time out for them, so they don't have the pushing power that it gives them. But they do.
Oh
have
no,
the big power.
DT gets hit by the Morgana Bind. He will absolutely get the lead. But there comes the Target ultimate. He finally is able to time it, and DT is able to heal up. He will pop the Guardian Angel, but it doesn't look like that will actually save them. Strangle Root will be going insanely low. Senji gets the knockoff on the multiple members, gets the Gore Drinker to heal himself back up. That is now 2 members down, 3 members down. Jin is absolutely damaged. Oh my god, he has decimated the opposing team. Yowie does have that Guardian Angel bond. That is not going to save you or your team. Comebacks be damned. Jin walks into the battle, takes them out, and that is a win going over to Stunt Gaming. I need to breathe it from that.
God, that game was insane!
Oh, it came this close to turning that game completely around. They were within 1,000 gold of making that comeback, but unfortunately just not playing the split push correctly. Jin coming through almost 45k damage on that Draven. Just absolutely running over the opposing team. Just, you guys talk, I need a breather.
Yeah, okay, look. That game, we saw Stun. They had such an unbelievable lead. It was 12,000 at one point, I think. It got really, really big. Like, it's a gold lead but like once you pass that 10k threshold, it's uncomebackable. Like, there's like a 0.001% chance that you ever close in that gap. But this is why you never FF. This is why you don't give up. We finally got
Never
to see
surrender.
Shiba never surrender. I mean, they may have ended up losing the game in the end, but Shiba came so close. They managed to just rampage back out of nowhere, but probably due to the overconfidence from Stunned, I think. I mean, we saw Jin trying to go for 1v3s. Like, there was a dragon and Jin kind of just ran in. I was like, yeah, guys, I got this. Gets one and gets taken out, giving away shutdowns, putting pressure on their own team before dying because there was so much value on Jin on that Draven. So a bit of overconfidence did mean that Stun pushed up too far. And I think once they kind of opened the gates, then Shiba started finding pick after pick after pick after pick. And Slatty, why did Shiba not win that one? They got so close. Was it they just couldn't win 5v5 in the end? Or was it perhaps the fact that Stun just found a better opportunity to close out the game?
I think they played it really well. The only issue that I personally had with their game plan was in terms of the Baron, right? Obviously, your goal, they kind of like fought on the Baron, but they didn't really, play to cancel bases like I would hope to. That's kind of at least how I felt in that situation. I mean, the Veigar played for a little bit, but Fiora was in their base at the time, and if they were able to stop, their the Syndra TP, that game was as good as over. And Fiora just barely doesn't get that vital. If she gets that vital, that game's over. They win the game. It was on a razor's edge, so I don't think they did necessarily anything wrong. It was just because the game was so even and it was just such a close situation. Like, one team just barely got out on top. So I don't think they really did anything wrong. I think just the cards did not fall in their favor at the end.
Mouse, did you have the same take? Is that why Shiba couldn't close it out?
I think so. It's just a matter of when you get that momentum going, it is hard to stop. And like once they started spiraling in the other direction, you could see a lot of mistakes coming out from the side of Sun Gaming, like Jin walking into a dragon where there's 3 members on the enemy team and he just gets deleted, right? So like when that kind of momentum starts swinging a certain direction, it's just really hard to slow down that momentum. So I think when I think it was like the 3rd Baron was taken and that fight was won for the side of Stud Gaming, where they were able to stop the Fiora split push and win the 4v4 team fight as well. I think that is definitely when the pendulum just swung the opposite way and they were able to snowball back into their winning lead.
And do you think, Mouse, that Jin deserves that MVP medal to be placed upon them, or was there someone who made more?
I actually say no, because I'm giving mine instead to Tier AO. That is my MVP. Did only 1,000 less damage, still incredibly potent on this Syndra. And I just don't think he had as much troll play, like almost throwing the game, right? Because obviously the Draven he is very flashy and did perform very well, but there were some opportunities that he just gave to the enemy team. I mean, I think Slotty was talking about, diving under a turret with no minions as Draven probably isn't the best idea. So I think Tyr has had an amazing series. He played very well in both games. I'd say he gets my MVP vote.
Okay, and Slatty, what about you? Do you think the medal goes to the same as Mouse, or is it that Draven?
I think that, if I would like to agree, obviously, but at the same time, there's like, if you like look at it as like logistically, there's like a chart, like there's like levels of how much you griefed and how much you popped off. And so here's the thing, right? Tyr, like his level of grief was here, but his level of pop off was like here. But we talk about the 80 carry Draven. His level of grief was like, it was like here, but he was like here. So like the overall difference.
I think he popped up on Syndra. I think he popped off. He did 44k damage. Draven did 45. Like, come on.
Okay, but I just think that Draven looked cooler. So that's why he did it. He did it in style.
It looked cooler. That's what you get the MVP for. Look, MVP, most valuable player. All right, but the coolest player. I feel like being valuable. Also, you have to include style point presentation.
Oh, you have to be cool to be valuable. I see.
The gold is valuable because it's cool. Like it's shiny. And it's like a cool color. That's what I'm saying, man. All right. Either way, we have our MVPs. We have our winners as well. Stunned Gaming Mythos with a nail biter of a last game to finish it off in their 2-0 series. And in better news, Chiefs actually weren't out of the running just yet. It turns out that I misunderstood the bracket. Okay, so I thought that you had to be in the top 3 to have a chance. But okay, just quick Worlds rundown for anyone who's curious. By the way, first place in play-ins in both the groups automatically qualify. They just go through, and then second place they are like up in the finals qualifiers, and then third and fourth play against each other to play against second place to qualify as well. I thought it was just top 3, but Chiefs can still come fourth. They're still in the running, guys.
There is still an opportunity for the Chiefs. I like it. Do we have news on Timo, though?
Timo did, in fact, lose. I would assume so. I would assume
so.
So.
Either way, please go support Chiefs right now. Give him your prayers. Give him your love. Surely we win. Big congrats to Stunned Gaming Mythos for taking out the victory. But we are not done for tonight. If you're still hungry for some more Risen esports, we do still have some games going on the other channel. They have gone to a game 3, which we haven't made it to. So we are going to throw it to them once we finish it off. So stick around. Don't miss anything. We will be here the same time next week for our next iteration of our league. Don't miss out. If you want more games like this, to see more danger, more excitement, more mousetrap, more sliding, more quicksand, follow us on Twitter. Twitter.
Let's go.
There we go.
Follow the Twitter. I'm looking at you. I know. I see you right there. Eating your cereal? No, the one on the toilet right now. Yeah, all right. Follow me on Twitter. All right. Either way, have a great rest of the night. Enjoy watching the rest of the World Split. We still are going. Ose is still in it. Thank you to Mouse, Slatty for casting. Shout out to Matt for producing the whole thing.
Best production.
Shout out to Prison for making such a wonderful league. And shout out to you guys for watching. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your night. Sleep well, sleep tight, and I'll see you guys next week.
Everyone.
Goodbye.